All right, give me just a couple minutes here. I'm in the process of sharing this link on YouTube so that people can come on here and jump in and follow it. So I'm going to live stream. It looks like Drew just uploaded a video. Does have some, feedback, at least in the introduction. But right, give me just a couple minutes here. I'm in the process of sharing this link on YouTube so that people can come on here and jump in and follow it. So I'm going to live stream. It looks like Drew just uploaded a video. All right, let's get at it. So what's good, YouTube? Fairdo Kings coming back at you again. I didn't expect to be on here at 10:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time after being up last night till 5 and live streaming till well after 1 o'clock in the morning. I anticipated that I'd be streaming tonight whenever Michael Vick and Tim Tebow played their game from 8 to 10. That's kind of the highlight of the schedule today. EA Sports and their content creators and some of the guys in the media are going to be putting out some content. But in the meantime, all the content creators, 35 in total, we're supposed to be putting out videos today at some point in time. Multiple videos, Good Game Bro, Dubby, Popular Stranger, all these guys that I sit here and I enjoy watching and putting out content. And of course, Drew, Not the Expert, put out a fantastic video today breaking down Kennesaw State's Dynasty that he was able to participate in and love watching it. Love watching it. Yeah, he broke the game. He broke recruiting. Don't get it twisted. But it is good that he was able to go in there and show the flaws in the game and identify what problems we've already faced and encountered in NCAA football 2014. And that overwhelming reaction from this fan base, this passionate fan base, highlighting that a one-star program is not going to sign a five-star athlete, more or less, four more four-star players. Yeah, I'll give it to you. I've been going back and forth. I understand. They're going to sign maybe one four-star a year if they're fortunate enough. They signed enough guys for a 10-year cycle in 1 year as the worst team in college football. So that was, that was pretty interesting. And because of that reaction, we had a response from the developers. And it was indirect. They didn't post nothing on Twitter. They don't want to be held to the fire and be like, well, we said this. And, now the fan base is going to be screaming if there's not a patch on day one that's going to fix recruiting. But they're well aware of the issue. They're going to tweak it. They want people to enjoy the game. Don't get it wrong. If you're playing your Dynasty by yourself, and you identify those guys that are being ignored and no one is recruiting, more power to you. Okay? More power to you. It's cheese in the game. We had this conversation last night, 2.5 hour conversation. I was telling people, about this, and they all agreed. But they're like, if that's something you want to do, you can go in and you can set house rules if you want to avoid that. And, some guys, on the other hand, they're fresh off the streets. They don't know. They think, hey, I did something. Look, I found this gym no one else recruited. In reality, in the real college football world, these 4- and 5-star recruits have been identified since they were in 8th grade if they're talented enough. And, sophomore year, junior year, they're already receiving letters in the mail. So no one's slipping through the cracks and be like, hey, this guy just became a 5-star. That doesn't happen. these elite athletes are well known. I mean, in University of Louisville's case, we had a quarterback who actually played a couple of different roles. Okay, at the University of Louisville, he was quarterback for a blink of an eye. He played running back. He played wide receiver. He was a jack of all trades, master of none. But in high school, he was very talented. But he didn't play quarterback until his senior year. So, like, he was the JV quarterback. And just from watching his JV games, he had schools throughout the nation that were recruiting him. I mean, he wound up at Louisville. It was one of them things that he wanted to play close to home, and he was going to get significant playing time playing at the University of Louisville compared to going to the Ohio State or Michigan or whatever. But he had interest, legit interest from big-name teams. Big-name programs wanted the kid. And I can't think of his daggone name to save my life. He ended up going down and playing for the Carolina Panthers. And it starts with a B, but I can't. Anyway, it's escaping me. I'm not going to sit there and, carry on about it, trying to figure out the guy. But, I mean, that's just an example. I mean, this kid from Louisville, Kentucky was a 4-star athlete, and he already had scholarship offers his junior year. Those guys don't slip through the cracks. They go to enough football camps, 7-on-7. They put film on Huddle. Everyone now does that. I mean, back in the day when I first started coaching in 1994, we're recording games on VCR, and we're exchanging physical tape. And we would have to, when the game was over, and a lot of people don't know this, Reggie Bonifant, you got it. God, dog. Yeah, man, I knew it started with a B. I just didn't. Reggie Bonifant from Louisville Trinity High School. But what my point is, as a high school football coach, so like we would finish the game, shake hands, kiss the babies after the game, have our little, independent press conference with the boosters and alumni and all that stuff, go into the locker room, make sure that all the kids get showered, get food if we ordered pizzas or Subway or whatever. And then what we did was, and in some cases, actually give the guys a ride home if they lived around the hood in Fairdale. But the kids are the West End kids, they got an activity bus and they would, 2-hour run on a Friday night after a football game trying to get everyone home because we're scattered throughout the whole city of Louisville. So my point is we would drop off the local kids in Fairdale. And then 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour after the game, after everyone showered and got out the locker room, the coaching staff had to go back to the locker room, okay? We had to go back to the locker room, and then we're watching the film and recording our current game, trying to break it down real quick. We're not taking in-depth notes, but we're watching like, hey, this is what happened here. You don't have a chance to pause, rewind, because what we're doing simultaneously is we're recording the game. Because at 8 o'clock in the morning, at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday morning, we've got to exchange the game tape and a couple game tapes, 2 or 3 games, with our opponent for the next week. Okay? We don't get home as a football coach, a high school football coach, at least back when I started and got my foot in the door. We didn't get in, out of the locker room until 2 o'clock in the morning. And then you guys show up, and on Saturday, you're going to, quote unquote, recruit, whatever that was. I mean, we weren't allowed to recruit, but we're all going to youth league games because you have to be recognized. You've got a fan base. In the Fairdale, we had the Fairdale Youth League, and we're playing all the other youth leagues around the city, and most of them are affiliated with the actual high school. So we're putting our face out there in the public so that parents can see us and try to convince kids to come to our school for our academics, whatever that is. So we're recruiting. Everyone's out recruiting. The Catholic schools are out there, and they would get pissed if we would come to a CSAA game, which is the Catholic League in and around Louisville. But yet, Trinity High School and St. X and Louisville Holy Cross and DeSales High School are all coming to the public school youth league games. But yeah, I mean, we're exchanging physical game film. I mean, that's what we did. And now and back in the day, what happened was it was word of mouth. Like when Joker Phillips from the University of Kentucky came to Louisville to come to our campus, they would ask us not only about our kids, hey, do you all have anyone? But also, you all have played, Valley High School. You played Trinity. I mean, in Louisville, we've got 24 public schools just in the city of Louisville. It's that's just public schools. That doesn't count the 4 private schools or 4 private Catholic schools, which is, like I said, St. X, Trinity, DeSales, Louisville, Holy Cross. Then you also have KCD, which is Kentucky Country Day, and the most recently, well, I'll say most recently, we have Louisville Christian Academy, which has taken off. That program's, really exploded in the last 15 years. When my son started playing youth league football, we used to kick in Christian Academy's teeth. But those kids have gone up through their program since they were in first grade, and then they played together for 8 years. The next thing you know, they're playing in high school, and all those kids all played together. So there's consistency. They know exactly what they're doing. They run the same system throughout their program. But my point is, we as football coaches would tell the college coaches and whatnot, not only about our roster, but we're going to tell them, hey, there's a kid over at Valley that could play at Louisville. They can play at Kentucky. They can play at Western Kentucky, whatever. So we're sharing that information. That was the pipeline. And the reason why we were able to do it was because we were watching game film. So even though we might be scouting a Doss High School in Louisville, I'm watching Doss play Butler High School, and Butler might have a monster on there at middle linebacker. They're like, damn, that kid is bad. So we're voting on that kid for all state. We're voting on that kid for all district, all conference, whatever. But we're also making notes like, man, they got a playmaker. We might watch at that time, Fort Thomas Highlands up in northern Kentucky had Jared Lorenzen, the hefty lefty. They had Derek Smith, which is a tight end, who all those guys end up going to University of Kentucky. But we saw them play Louisville Male High School. We saw them, and we saw what they did to exploit Male High School. And then we would play Male, and, we didn't have the same level of athletes at Male High School, who had 5 or 6 guys that were D1 athletes, including Tony Driver went to, Notre Dame, and they had Chris Redmond and Ivan Green, who all played at University of Louisville. Phenomenal athletes. My first game when I got, blessed with coaching high school football, my introduction was playing against Louisville Male High School with Chris Redmond, who played for the Louisville Cardinals and then played with, was the quarterback with the Atlanta Falcons. And Redmond threw for over 500 yards against us, and Ivan Green, their star tight end, or actually star receiver at that time, he had 396 yards against us. We scored the first touchdown of the game, and we woke him up, and next thing I know, we didn't score another point. We ran out the building 76-6. That was my introduction to high school football. And I'm, our starting quarterback, the day before the game, we go and watch a preseason game, and they go up to Iroquois Park, and the guy runs down the hill and tears his damn ACL. So we had to play a backup quarterback in our first game of the year against, Mel, and then I lose our starting quarterback or our starting running back after the first play of the game. He breaks 78 yards, goes for a touchdown. In the celebration, jumping up and down, he breaks his damn ankle. Are you kidding me? So now we got a starting running or backup running back who's got to take in the mix. He's a sophomore who I grew up with, these guys. I was only a couple years older than him. And this guy's in a cast because he punched somebody and broke his hand. And he don't know none of the plays because he's been out all, preseason practice because he's got a broken wrist. And we got to give him the ball. Our fullback has to tell him what direction to go on every single play. I had no idea. And we just told him run. That was our introduction at that time. We competed. We ended up losing to Iroquois for the district championship 8-6. We lost in overtime on a 2-point conversion. But that was it. So, but these 4-star athletes, man, everyone knows who the 4 stars and 5 stars are, and even some of the 3 stars. But anyway, let's get into Drew's breakdown of this Auburn in Alabama. And that was just an introduction to kind of get some more views and get some people in here. So let's get into it. I'm going to turn off his commentary though, and just enjoy this video. So this is Not the Expert putting out videos. He's the guy who did the Dynasty the other day. He had early access to the game. He's playing a beta version of it. So like I said last night, if you were able to join the stream and watch this last night, I'm not sure if he did this in May or if he actually, did this. I'm going to make sure I'm going to move this down so everyone can see this footage. I'm not sure if he did this in May or if he filmed this July 2nd, July 3rd. But it is an early version of the game. You see in the bottom, there's a stamp that says work in progress. Anytime they do this, if it's a beta, and some of you guys have been able to participate in the Madden betas, look at this, man. I've got my Auburn shirt on. I've already wore Alabama. This ain't a slight at Alabama, but, in our role at the University of Louisville, Kentucky is the state school. Look at War Eagle, man. I have to pause. And God dog it, we've got a video, commercial, and I'm premium, so I don't know, but whatever. I'll sit there and try to skip this if I can. I've just got to manage this. Whatever. I'm just pressing buttons, guys, getting through the scenes here. My point is, though, University of Kentucky is a state school. University of Louisville, we're the step kid. Auburn's in the same row, so I'm supporting Auburn in this video. I mean, heck, if I have to, I'll be like Superman and go get in the phone booth and change my cape here at halftime and put on my Alabama shirt. I don't have a personal preference. I enjoy both these programs. We've actually sent players down to Auburn to play basketball, so I have no vested interest. This ain't a slight at anyone. I'm just wearing some swag. For you guys who don't know or might be confused, but like, dude, I thought you're a Louisville fan. Why are you wearing Auburn? I had someone bring this up in comments. Dude, I bought 84 T-shirts from Fanatics. I'm going to wear all these different shirts during these reaction videos. But you saw a cutscene. Now, if you haven't been familiar with this, in the play calling screen, you're going to have all those different pictures in here. So Jalen Milrose at quarterback. Coming out, they're just running. Looks like power to the right. You're seeing some of this backdrop. Now, up in their upper right-hand corner, it's going to show you the impact players. You're getting a replay in that left box, which there's going to be a lot of different animations and videos. I mean, you're going to see your crowd and stuff getting excited. You see that right now Drew is actually on defense. He's moving around, jumping around. What you do notice right away in this footage is that he doesn't, nice hit, is that Drew doesn't have the ability to baseline on defense. In the play calling screen, you do see that he had the ability to disguise coverage, and you guys really need to utilize that. I mean, that's going to be a factor. God, dog, this guy gets to the corner. Alabama just has ridiculous speed. At the bottom here, you saw you had a chance. You can do your audibles. Make sure that you guys utilize that. Here's his coverage adjustments that popped up. There's a lot of different, minor things that they've added to this game that's going to help with the enjoyment. One of the bigger things is the click on stick on defense that you can switch almost seamlessly. So L2's audibles, you hit the shell, which is the right stick going, back and forth, and you can disguise your coverage. So say, for instance, you want to run a cover 3, but you want to do it from a 2-deep look. You can do that. You can come out and show, that cover 2 shell, and then at the snap of the ball, your guys are going to rotate into their coverage responsibilities, and get to the cover 3 where they need to be at. So the safety will roll top. That a strong safety can roll down into his robber position, or he might have, flat responsibility, sky, cloud, whatever you want to call it. And you can run that 3 deep with both your corners belling and cover deep thirds. You see it here at the snap of ball. So the strong safety rode down to where the logo was out. And the free safety is getting the hell out of dodge and belling. I mean, he started off probably at 15 yards deep, and by the snap of the ball, he is full-blown sprinting back to get his deep third. And hopefully I don't confuse some of you guys. I've got that extensive high school football background and college, and also played a little bit of semi-pro football. So, sometimes I forget and use terminology that might be confusing to the average viewer or average gamer who's just picking up the sticks and, doing it. But for you guys who are probably watching me, you understand and do recognize and probably appreciate that I'm using football terms. Now he comes out here, he's in 3-by-1, which means he's got 3 receivers to the right. He's got an X receiver to the left. He's going to run the ball up the middle. I mean, let's establish the running game, which is what he's trying to do. Now you see in this play calling screen, he's got the touch pass, inside zone. He's coming out in this one. He's in 2-by-2 with the tight end in the wing. Backs offset to the right, and he goes with the motion. He's probably running the touch pass, and there it is. Cuts up. He couldn't get out. I mean, Alabama actually responded very well to that. That linebacker or safety flew up there into the flats, and he had to cut the ball up and didn't get the gain that he was looking for. Now he's out here right now in 3-by-1, it looks like. Yep, he's got the trips into the boundary. Got a comeback route on the left. You see the running back's going to run a check down. I'd go to the running back. That'd be my read. I'd have took the 2 yards and tried to turn it upfield. But he held the ball a little bit too long with that pass rush that Alabama's presenting. It's going to be trouble. So he loses 5 yards. I mean, that's a money down. You've got to be able to convert. If you're going to win games, guys, you have to take what the defense gives you. If that means you take that three-yard check down, and then you've got to make the play yourself, you do it. Now, I mean, if it was 3rd and 10, yeah, you got to throw the ball more toward the sticks. But this guy had a chance on 3rd and 4 to make a check down. So now he's back on defense. You see Alabama's lined up in 2-by-2. They're in a compressed set. This guy, the computer, or maybe he's playing a user. Yeah, he's playing a user. Just runs, a stretch play on him. Gets to the edge and makes a guy miss. Misses a tackle there. I mean, he does get a chance to run him out of bounds. Doesn't tackle him, but runs him out of bounds. We've got quads right here, guys. It's empty backfield. You see the coverage adjustment. He tried to get back to a 2 deep look. Gets up to the flats. Great play. I mean, it's great recognition by that linebacker to get there, make the play. Actually, it was strong safety. But he had a flat player that's able to come up and blow that play up. Now you see, this is what I like, is that this guy came out in a formation and quickly audibled and went to a 2-by-2 set. And for you guys that enjoy the game, I know that some of the meta coverages, a lot of people will play. It looks like he's in a 3-4 here, even against this. Brings the safety down in the box. He's got a vertical, though, which is how you beat that. He gives up a streak right down the field. He was in cover 2 hard flat and gets exposed. This guy makes a great read. So now we got pistol. Hey, if you're watching this, you just saw both the H-back and tight end. Great move. He missed a tackle, gives up a touchdown. But my point is, did you see the halfback, or I'm sorry, the H-back, who's the offset tight end, and the tight end? They were in their stance looking at the sideline to see if there was going to be any adjustments. That is great. I mean, I know it's a minor detail. Dwayne, man, I see the go cards. Yes, sir. Definitely, man. And guys, I apologize. I'm not ignoring you guys in chat. I'm just struck by watching this video, man. The fact that we're 2 days away from having the game. If you have early access, you'll be able to download the game today. There's been some minor, downloads and stuff earlier in the week. But you'll be able to download the game today, and at 4:00 on Monday, people will start to see access to the service and be able to start playing this game. So here we come out. We got 2-by-2. If you're using, nice run, man. Make him respect the run. He hasn't been able to stop it yet. Run the ball up the middle. If they're going to give it to you, I ended my video last night on a little bit of a rant and a little bit of my self-confidence, but I'll tell you, I'm going to run the ball until you prove that you can stop it. Why throw the ball? There's, 3 things that can happen when you pass the ball. 2 of them are bad. You can complete the pass, okay. You can also throw an incompletion or interception. So, he tried to run a read, and he gets absolutely blown up. He did not make a good read on that read option. Here we go again. We've got more videos and stuff. I apologize, guys. I have premium, but I'm still getting commercials, I guess, and ads during this video. So we'll just try to skip past them as soon as we can. He gets the turnover. Look at this, man. We got the turnover belt. Nice little addition to the game. So you see here we got 3-by-1. You got trips to the left. A tight end attached on the backside over here on the right. He just sat there and aligned. His defense went back to a cover 3 look. Both safeties over top, but he threw the ball down the seam. I mean, that's how you expose a cover 3. If you can throw the ball off one of those slot guys down the seam. He had the corner rolled up in coverage, but it was a 3 deep look. And, he makes a great catch. But right now, he's kind of getting exposed. I mean, it's 14-0. You're seeing the new kick meter. I don't know yet. I haven't had a chance to really mess around with the kick meter and go into a lot of detail with it. It's a new addition. I mean, I'm like everyone else. I've grew up playing, college football, and we had that different meter that you go up and kind of like was Tiger Woods golf and stuff back in the day, which is what they adopted. But now they've made a subtle change to the kick meter. So this guy's coming out. We're running Texas here. It's 4 verticals. We called it Texas. That was just what our, and my style of play as an offensive coordinator. We call this 3x1. If we got 4 verticals, and actually with that inside throw receiver running off the safety, running a post, that's basically what it was. They just ran 4 verticals and tried to run a screen. They cleared out, got everyone going vertical up the field to clear it out. And he's got them actually outnumbered. He just doesn't make a move. You got to make a guy miss. I mean, you've got him outnumbered 3-2. The numbers are in his favor. We got empty backfield, trips to the left here. We're going to get motion. He's running that jet sweep. Makes a guy miss. He gets a great block on the outside. This guy strafes. Isn't going to let him. I mean, I just ran and slowed down a little bit, pushed him out of bounds, which is what he did. But going back to this, all this little stuff in here. You're looking at gameplay. You're seeing in the background the backdrop of the stadium, which is wonderful. You're seeing the animations. That should have been a pick. That should have been another pick. We talked about this, and Drew did. He highlighted this last night. Great pass. That's how you beat a cover 3. You go the ball down the seam. Good God, man. The guy makes a catch, and he fumbles the ball. Forced fumble. 2x2, compressed look. We get a motion. Fake the jet. You're going to run halfback dive to the weak side. Pick up 3 yards. Now you're playing, in front of the sticks. God dog, man, this guy playing with Alabama has now forced 2 fumbles. So he's making Drew. I like that auto motion. He comes back in that quad, catches the ball, make a guy miss. I mean, you're going to see more RPOs. You guys last year that hated it in Madden, you're going to see a ton of RPOs in college football. I mean, you're going to see speed option. You're going to see the read. I'm familiar with those. We were one of the first programs in and around the city of Louisville who added RPOs to our offense. We were very flexible. We weren't the old traditional type. We had a lot of younger coaches. When I took over at Fairdale, 2005 or 7, we had a 24-year-old head coach. I was brought onto the staff because of my experience to kind of help him navigate, his first role as a head coach. And because he played college football, NCAA football, we did a lot of stuff that probably the traditional coaches would never do. Like, hey, I saw this play on college football and I ran it. Like, I like that concept and it worked. Let's see if we take it on the practice field. Next thing you know, we're doing on practice field. We're drawing stuff up in the dirt and running it on, Friday nights. So we would make a lot of, plays that we saw either watching games, college games, pro games, we'd watch on TV or stuff that we saw in a video game, and we would use that terminology, and we did it. We didn't have nice pick there, but we didn't have the smartest players in the city of Louisville, but we were able to relate to our kids, because they saw the video game, like, Coach, you're using something from Madden, yeah, or college football, whatever. They're like, yeah, we're going to use something that you guys are familiar with and help educate you on football, and we'll use terms that you guys see playing a video game. So we were not the traditional format as far as a lot of that stuff's concerned. We all knew football and could speak the jargon and the lingo, but we broke it down to our players so they can understand. So here we got trips, 3x1, offset back. He's trying to make some audibles. I don't think that's a nice read. So there's no one there. He threw the ball in space as the guy's getting ready to make that break into the corner. He's going through it. He's in turbo right now, or no huddle, trying to get to the line real quick. He's got a slant over here to the right, and he's got a guy going out to the flat. Now he's just audible. He's got the quick out route. One thing you'll notice, and it's a great addition, any of you guys play Madden, if you get Hot Route Master, it gives you now, instead of the eight hot routes, you have access to 12 of them. And we have the ability with every single player now who plays quarterback that they have access to the 12 hot route masters. So that's nice. Nice juke, get upfield, make someone miss, get out of bounds, stop the clock. That's another thing, guys. Time management. There's so many guys who don't understand that. In college football, if you get a first down in college football, The clock will stop until you move the chains under 2 minutes. The rest of the game is just running just like the NFL, but it will stop. But if you have a chance to run out of bounds, run out of bounds. Give your guys a chance to, especially this wear and tear, to catch their breath, regroup. Because if you're running turbo, it's going to also impact you in this wear and tear system because your guys are also picking up fatigue. So while it's a good addition, it's not just getting smacked around. You're also wearing your guys out as far as their stamina. Nice. He's going to take it to the house. We got a game. It was 14-0. He makes a stop on defense. And we're going to go into halftime 14-7. He should be able to get a stop hopefully here in the last 32 seconds. You see the cheerleaders doing their thing in that left window. Over here to the right in that window, it showed you the summary of the drive. Kickoff meter again. He puts the ball 8 yards deep in the end zone. Take a knee. No sense in bringing it out, running the clock. We got 3-by-1 with the tight end here in the wing position. Look at Alabama. They've got 4 guys in the offensive line who all have stars under them. Impact players who probably have some sort of ability. And these guys have access to like 3 mental abilities and like 8 physical abilities. This guy used a timeout, so now you got 25 seconds. He ran the ball, take what the defense give you. Probably swing pass. Nope. Tight end screen. Throw the check down, call another timeout, 20 seconds. So he's got to go, 62 yards. All he needs is about 30 yards, get in field goal range. He's going to run the ball, take what they give him. Make some tackles, man. Make some tackles. Call timeout. Now he's just outside of field goal range. Maybe throw a quick pass here to the flats, get that guy out of bounds, and bring out your kicker. He might take a chance deep here. You got trips to the right, tight ends attached to the back end, off back running back. You might get a running back wheel on the left. Sure enough, we got a table route on the left with the running back. He tried to throw the out pattern, didn't have success. It looks like they were in 3 deep with cornerback lock, so the nickel back was actually in man coverage and took away the flats. Out route, get it. I mean, I can't believe he gave up the out here. I mean, is the guy going to get out of bounds? Nope, didn't stop the clock halftime. And it's not poor clock management. The guy's taking what they give him. He just came up and made a play, made a stop. So, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. Take that 6-yard out, try to get out of bounds and kick a field goal. It just didn't materialize. I mean, he makes a great play out there and stops it. So, going into halftime, it's 14-7, very entertaining first half. Drew's been able to make some adjustments, it looks like. He did have 2 turnovers, which that's kind of hampered what he's been able to do, but great move. I mean, if you've got stick skills on this game, you're going to be a problem. I've said that, and I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. If you know how to do wiggle and juke, and unlike Bordeaux, tries to spin every damn time, but if you can sit there and hit them with that quick juke and in and out, the speed of this game is going to really play to the favor of those guys. Nice swing pass, take what the defense gives you. Don't get hit sticked. I mean, that's been the problem, is that he's taken some wicked shots and coughed it up. So I'm probably looking at getting down. I mean, I'm not going to take on 3 guys. I'm going to sit there and pick and choose my battles. I'm going to lay down like I'll fold up like a cheap suit. I'm going to lay on the ground. I'm not going to take a hit. I'll live to play another game for sure. But this offense, man, I mean, I don't know about the play diagram screen. When you go in here and you're looking at when you choose your play, I don't know how I feel about that. But one thing that's been mentioned and has been a complaint is that the running backs on the wheel route, he probably could have thrown that quicker. Nice move. Yeah, there's no one on the running back at all. I mean, that's take what the defense gives you. They're going to give you that wheel route, and that's what they're doing. Take advantage of it. Quarterback pulled it. There's nothing on the backside. I mean, he's tried to run this now twice, and he has been stoned twice with the quarterback pulling the ball. But, I mean, this guy said it. I mean, that's not a bad read. It's not a bad read. It's just poorly executed. That tight end tried to block and just got manhandled by a bigger, stronger defensive end who had block shed. Throws the RPO, gets out there in space, make a guy miss, take it to the house. We're tied up. We're tied up. We got a ball game, guys. The crowd is going crazy in the background. And if you watch this, if you're paying attention, you saw when this guy caught the ball, the crowd stood up in anticipation of a touchdown. Don't let that be overlooked. Like, that's a minor detail. Usually you would score a touchdown and they would sit. So you're looking at the crowd in the background, and they're starting, once he caught the ball and they realized that this could be a big play, they started jumping up and down. I saw that in a video the other day that there was a breakdown. That is amazing, guys. I mean, that's just a small attention to detail. You see that his stadium pulse now, he has the momentum. This was a 14-0 game with 35 seconds to go in the first half. He's put up 2 touchdowns here. He's changed the whole complexion of this game. The home field advantage, the stadium pulse is now in his favor. So it's, he's got the 14th ranked home field advantage. This crowd, if you're going to try to audible and stuff, look at, he's trying to change the play. Alabama's trying to change the play. Everybody on their offense stood up and looked to the sideline to see what's going on. They had to reset. If he's trying to make any kind of audibles, they might not get the call. Great stop on defense. 3rd and inches. You got to sit here and make a play. I mean, this is a huge play. This guy runs that play where the tight end, it's a wham play, and tries to run that wham. You've got the halfback there. And look at this. He sneaks the H-back out into the flats. What a great creative play call. And you see that on Saturdays all the freaking time. I mean, that is a staple of a lot of offenses. You'll put a tight end, and usually what you do is you would put that tight end on the left side, and have him sneak behind the line and get into the flats on the right side, because the right-handed quarterback, it is difficult to sit there and make that play fake and throw it across your body. But he threw it to the wide side of the field, which, he was able to execute. It's a video game. Sometimes it doesn't matter what, how you're actually lined up, if you actually square your shoulders and throw the ball, so take advantage of it. He just sat there, and you saw, I just talked about it. He had to get his shoulders squared away. Even though he rolled out to the left, he still had to stop, set his feet, and throw the ball, because he's moving left. That is difficult in real life for you to sit there and go left, and you're right-handed quarterback, and throw the ball across your body. It takes a lot of velocity off the ball. It's a difficult throw. You'll see the ball flutter and a lot of interceptions with that. RPO, great block. He's going to miss a tackle. Gain of 10. But what we're seeing is, though, these guys out here in space, the defensive backs, are setting blocks and reacting better to the RPOs. They're not just standing out there looking stupid. They're trying to get upfield. Now, they might get blocked or whatever, and it's going to be a mini battle within the game itself. Is my stats better than your stats? Is your running block better than my block shed? So how do those mini games, that are going on in the background, are you winning those individual battles? So that's a great addition to the game. I mean, yeah, we've had ratings like that, but they've used this more in line this year. He missed another tackle in space. Thank God the guy juked back out there and ran right back into the original guy who missed the first play. But Drew's giving this guy some different looks. I mean, right now there's one safety who's back on the logo 15 yards off the ball, but he's got guys looks like manned up here across the field. You got man coverage with, cover one man. Milroe and his athleticism. I mean, he got smacked. This dude got tagged at the end of this play. I don't know what he's thinking. I'm not taking that hit. I'm not going to absorb that hit. I used to do it, being a University of Louisville fan and a fan of Lamar Jackson. Even though I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm going to respect what Lamar Jackson's done. I've used him. Look at the stadium pulse. He gets stopped. Actually gave up a touchdown. I'm sorry. The stadium's now quiet again. He just got stopped. The whole momentum changed. So that stadium's not rocking. It's 3 or 4, bars on defense. So now he's basically told the crowd, shh. Yeah. Now it's 3rd down or 2nd and 14 because he makes a stop. He picked up 2 more additional bars. The crowd's getting behind it. But it's not, jumping off the charts like it was previously. This guy makes a 3rd and 7. Stadium pulse now is rocking. It's 3rd and 7. You can't hear anything. You've got trips left here, tight end. He throws the ball down the middle. I mean, he missed the post initially. He throws this ball late. It's probably going to be picked or knocked down, which it was. He missed this guy coming across from the left seam to the middle of the field before he ran into the coverage defender. He could have thrown the ball and missed it. He's looking for the big play. I mean, he's locked in. He knows where he's going with the ball. But he did miss a guy open running down that left seam. as he come left or right. So here we go. 4 minutes to go in this game. It's a 7-point game. Drew has the ball. 2-by-2 set, and he throws a slant, makes a catch, 14, 15-yard gain. He's back to his RPO look, it looks like. Let's see what he goes with here. If it's going to be the run, if he's going to pull the ball and throw the ball out to the flats, I think it's going to be according to whatever the adjustment is. And if Scissors, we're getting a motion. Throws a swing pass. There's no one out there. He's going to pick up 3 yards. I mean, he's playing in front of the sticks, which is what you want to do. You don't want to take a loss there, and now you're looking at 2nd and long. Now he's got 2nd and manageable. It's 2nd and 7. He has the ability, and you guys would know you can be more flexible. If I'm going to, keep the defense off balance, I don't know if I'm running or passing the ball. You don't want to be in those 2nd and long situations. Everyone knows that you've got to throw the ball. Now they're putting here. Is he going to pitch the ball? Nope, he was forced to keep it because that guy kept his pitch relationship over on the left, kept him honest. He throws another slant. He's beating him up with his short underneath stuff. And Alabama's just trying to protect their lead. They don't want to give up a big play over top. So he's got that 4 deep shell. You see everyone's bailing out. I mean, both corners and safeties have deep quarter coverage. Corner route's wide open. This quarterback don't have the arm strength to throw that. Now, that's what, Drew was talking about in his Reddit comments yesterday, was that he's got the wheel route wide open. He's going to take it to the house. But what he was saying was, you can notice the difference between a Quinn Ewers, who is an elite type quarterback, who can be on the left hash and throw the deep out route, the deep comeback route, the deep corner route on the right side of the field, as opposed to a player like he's using right now who doesn't have that arm strength probably to throw a pass to the opposite side of the field with enough velocity and touch and not throw a pick. Did he just miss the extra point? Kicking meter got him. Wow. This should be a tie game with less than 2 minutes to go. I remember there's a 2-minute warning this year in college football. He missed the extra point. Milroe's going to run the ball and pick up the first, picks up 16 yards and gets down. Make sure that you guys get familiar with the controls. Some of you older guys, the OGs who haven't played Madden, make sure that you guys are getting down and not absorbing those big hit sticks, which can turn into turnovers. Avoid that contact with the wear and tear system. You don't want your star quarterback taking big blows like that, especially early in the game. Late in the game, you've got to sit there and absorb some of that stuff. But remember, that carries over in Dynasty, so it is a week-to-week thing as opposed to a head-to-head game. So he makes a stop. We've got 3rd and 13. Flag on the play. What is this? Delay of game. This crowd is going to be absolutely jacked up, guys. This crowd is going to be insane. It's 3rd and 18. If he tries a hot route or anything, I don't know if they're going to be able to make the calls. You see that he's backing up his coverage. Probably going to have cover 4 shell here. He's got to get out and cover the flats, though. I mean, that's I don't know if he's going to get anyone out here. There's the out pattern. Nope, he's 3 deep. He actually was in a cloud there. He's not going to pick up the first. He's going to punt the ball. Use your timeout. Very smart on defense. As soon as he's on the ground, call the timeout. Look how balanced it is. Both teams have 13 first downs and had the ball for equal amount of possession. It's been a well-played game. I mean, Drew's been unfortunate to have a couple turnovers, which is, obviously changed the complexion of the game. It's led to him being on defense a little bit more than what he wanted to. But you see that Auburn has 2 sacks. Alabama has 1. I'm excited, man. I mean, watching this video, if you guys have any kind of pulse, you're just as intrigued as I am. You're waiting to get your hands on the game. And the fact that we're able to be thrown a nugget and we're going to be able to watch gameplay like this all day, I'm kind of in my glory. I mean, I wish I had my hands on a game. I still might jump in the car and drive to a couple places today. He might, oh, wow, no way. He gets that corner route, which is what he's been trying to get dialed in all game. Only thing is he just missed an extra point. So, I mean, are you going to be trying to settle and get yourself lined up to kick another field goal to win this game 23-21? Or being that he has struggled in the kicking game with the 1 missed extra point, Is he going to go for a touchdown here? I mean, I'd run the ball. Without a doubt, I'm running the ball. Make Alabama use their timeout, which they did. We're down to 56 seconds. He can run the ball again if he wants to. Runs into the back of his lineman. 22 seconds to go. Alabama's out of timeouts. First and go. This game's over. Set up for your field goal. Let the clock run down. Oh, yeah, here we go. Just like real life, we're going to have a 3.5-minute commercial break. He's going to come out, second and go. Let's run the ball. I mean, but what are we doing? It's going to pass. Is he out of timeouts? Yeah, he's out of timeouts because he had to throw the ball. Ooh, thank God he didn't take a penalty there. Yeah, so he line up and field goal. Line up and field goal. Take your 3. 4 seconds to go. Decisions. Yes, 49ers, exactly. Oh, man, his palms are sweating right now. He made it. That's a made kick. Big Drew, not the expert, gets his W. 6-play drive, minute 12, goes 89 yards. Kicks a field goal to win this. I don't know about 89. Yep. Are you sky kicking here? Are you kicking normal? Are you kicking squib? I'm not squib kicking. I've seen guys take the ball to the house with squib kicks. I mean, yeah, that guy falls down. He's trying to throw one Hail Mary. Doesn't happen. But Auburn gets the win in the arm bow. Dude, this is awesome. I mean, 363 yards passing by Peyton Thorne. Completed 78% of his passes and threw 3 tutties. Sam, what happened is these are content creators. They were able to go to EA Sports in May. They filmed footage, and then there was another event last week, July 2nd, July 3rd. The replays are spectacular. I went down to EA 3 weeks ago last night, so it's now been 22 days since I was at EA in Orlando. I'm under embargo, so I can't talk about anything as far as what I actually did, my role, until I'm allowed. But I can talk about this because Drew posted a video. So Drew, not the expert, played a game last week, was able to record some footage from Dynasty mode. He did a Dynasty, posted a video. Make sure you guys are going to check out Not the Expert, his YouTube page. I mean, give full credit to him. Go follow him on Twitter. I'm giving full credit to him. I've got my own followers who are intrigued about everything, so I'm just reacting to this video. But Drew's the one who put together all this content. He shared his footage, so that's what it was. But there's going to be game footage throughout the day. So if you guys love college football, you're going to see, like, at 12 o'clock today, LeBron James is going to be participating in something. 8 o'clock tonight is the highlight of the day. You're going to have Michael Vick playing Tim Tebow. So media personalities, former athletes, current athletes, content creators are all showcasing EA Sports College Football 25 this weekend. There'll be content tomorrow as far as games and people playing. Ben Hallmiller and them going to do a Dynasty breakdown today, which I'm locked in. I'm probably not going to live stream because I want to be focused on what a great pick. This guy makes a stop and then goes 90-some yards to win the game. Wide open. This guy comes back. He squares his shoulders. But, man, I'm so excited. But, yeah, that's how some of these guys are able to get the game early. I'm trying personally to get the game. I've always had this game 7 to 10 days in advance. This year is going to be the first time in the last 13 years this game's been out that I haven't had early access. It's not to say that I'm still not going to go bang down the doors of a Target, Walmart, Best Buy, and convince someone that, hey, I'm going to buy the game, keep the box. Y'all can scan it next Friday. I'll come back and pick it up. I'm not, whatever. I mean, there's people who have this game already. There's people who actually have the game already. So I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not stealing a game. I'm actually paying full price and probably a couple $100 more if I actually do get the game myself. So that's, something I'm looking at doing. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's college football. We love this video game. I love this video game. I've been doing this for years. And I'm going to sit here and share content, if it's myself, videoing it, if it's anyone else that I know who actually had access to the game, I'm going to sit there and share what they're doing. You see me moving some stuff around, guys. I'm just trying to give you all an experience and stuff. I've always had these the green screen with the banners in the back. I'll have different colleges, depending on who I'm using. I've done some skits and stuff with Colorado and Coastal Carolina, and I actually did one for LSU. Well, I was at LSU using Ole Miss. I was acting, role playing like I was a coach. So I'll do different stuff like this. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is good. I mean, who else is playing today is I think Donovan Edwards is playing either today or tomorrow against MMG, content creator. I mean, he's got a huge following, over 1 million followers. I'm not personally, and I've got several dynasties going on. I mean, last night, believe it or not, I did that 2.5-hour live stream. Some of you guys actually probably watched it. I jump off the video, the live stream, 2.5 hours of, giving my opinion, talking about who I might use in Dynasty and all this stuff. And I didn't check Twitter, but sure enough, I checked it at 5 o'clock right before I went to bed to lay down for a couple hours. And I got a Major League Baseball player who sends me a DM that, hey, dude, can I join one of your dynasties? I'm like, come on, man. I mean, and I've got guys that are assistant coaches at major college programs, guys who downloaded my rosters back in the day, who were in, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and some other guys that were in freshman year in college who played with my rosters, who are now, they've got big name jobs at, major D1 universities. And they're still like sending me messages like, hey, you're going to run a private league? We would like to play. How can we get involved? So I've got to now figure out what the heck I'm going to do now with that audience and how I'm going to cater to them, which that's a good problem to have, So I've got to jump in here and I've got to figure out, yeah, you're right. Shane Gillis is going to be on. That dude's hilarious. And he's a passionate college football fan. I watched some of his content. And I can't find it. If I could find it, I would actually react to it. He's talking about how he used to play Dynasty when he was younger, him and his boys. And he still has some guys that he grew up with. He hasn't forgot his roots and where he came from. And he's going to do some dynasties with those guys. Even if it's a 2-man dynasty, they talk smack. I mean, they talk smack. But he's going to have some content today. It's going to be interesting to see, or today or tomorrow, whatever the schedule is. But yeah, I mean, let me see what I can do here real quick, because I downloaded a lot of stuff last night. Let me see. I'm going to try. Bear with me, man, guys. I mean, I'm trying to juggle and multitask and concentrate and stay focused, and sometimes I lose my train of thought. But let me see if I can figure out if I have the schedule. Dynasty rebuild, that's none of it. So I'm just going through here. I'm trying to find where I might have posted some of this stuff last night. Dynasty motivation, that's not it. Recruiting, players leaving, coach. But yeah, I mean, there's a schedule of all these guys and what they're going to be doing. If you guys down, can comment and share that information, I'm trying to find it, but I've got so many folders and everything with everything that I've been doing, trying to keep up with this, all the ratings and everything that's out here. But yeah, I mean, there's a schedule. I mean, you guys can go to like EA Sports College, and there's a full-blown schedule that you guys can check out, and it'll tell you what when everyone's going to be on, what they're going to be doing, what their role is. You could do that. Check that out. I'm going to see if I can jump on X real fast. And X, I hate saying X, Twitter. That's what the heck it is, man. Don't get it twisted. I mean, it's the Twitterverse, and for us old cats, I don't adjust the change quick. So let's see. Here it is. Let me save this real quick, guys, and I'll get it to you. Just remember my old age. I don't say I struggle with technology, but I just might not be as quick. I don't have a staff who's working behind me, catering to my every whim, like some of these guys who have agents and managers and editors and all that stuff. But this is Fairdale Kings. I play every instrument in this one-man band. I have to sit here and, multitask and do everything I can I can do to help you guys out. I'm going to sit here and move some stuff around. So you're going to see my video, bouncing around and whatever, man. I mean, I'm trying to get you guys this content. So looking at this, you're going to see real quick as I ramble. So 1 to 2 o'clock today, you've got Frankie Walker and LeBron James putting out something. I mean, I'll probably watch. I'm not going to sit here and react to it. It's going to be a show for sure. Oh, wow. So Bordeaux's on there. I might jump in there real quick. Let me go to the schedule and then we'll jump in Bordeaux. And, hey, man, mad love to him. I mean, he's a Kentucky fan. Bless his heart. But, he's doing big things. So you got the sketch college football kickoff 2 to 4. Donovan Edwards is going to smack MMG. What I was alluding to before is if I had a choice, if Donovan Edwards sent me a DM like, hey, FK, I want to be in your dynasty, I'm telling that guy no. I want to win my dynasty. That guy's got some stick skills. He understands football. He smacked Bordeaux. If you guys watch it, and I'll say it again, I don't care. I can sit here and use this joke all day. We actually witnessed a murder on live stream. He got killed. Body was still warm. I want to call Child Protective Service. I'll use that joke again. I'll sit here and recycle. It's my content. I would call Child Protective Service because he sat there and spanked Bordeaux, made him his son. That is not a lie. I'm not BSing nobody. I give you the hard facts. That's not Bordeaux taking strays. Bordeaux, he knows he got smacked. He's pissed at himself. That's why he wants to come back and play and show that, hey, I actually did some stuff, guys. I can play this game. I'm not terrible. And he'll tell you that. I mean, he made a great throw on a sideline route. Quinn Ewers threw a great pass. He hit the wrong button and made something happen. Anyway, 6 to 8, you got Chad Walker and Ben Hallmiller. They're going to be showcasing the Dynasty. 8 o'clock tonight, 8 to 10, Mike Vick, Tim Tebow. Hey, those guys, I'm locked in. I'll be reacting tonight, 8 to 10 on that. Tomorrow, 12 to noon to 2, you got Travis Hunter and Shedeur playing each other. We'll see. Those guys have great chemistry. I don't know if you guys follow it, and all the stuff that Dion and his staff do. They enjoy social media. They embrace social media. That's why they're able to sell their program. But those two guys, man, everyone's made up this beef between those two. There ain't no beef between them. Man, I've been in locker rooms before. Those two have no animosity. They're both eating. There's enough out there for both those guys to have great NIL deals and survive and be in the space that they're in. They're going to have great professional careers, regardless. I mean, Shedeur is not going to be a number 1 overall pick, but he's going to have a long NFL career. The guy does have a lot of talent. 2 to 4 tomorrow, you got Quinn Ewers and Chad Ochocinco, which I know Chad. I went over that last night. I'm not going to rehash that again. 4 to 6, Shane Gillis and Dan Soder. And then tomorrow night, 6 to 8, you've got Big Cat and PFT. So that is interesting. Let me bear with me. I'm going to see if I can jump on here and find what Bordeaux's doing. See if I can find what's so he's got this premiere new. Dude, all this stuff is trying to figure this out. Let's see. Properties. So you guys ain't familiar with me. I'm doing all this stuff in the background. These other guys do this seamlessly. I mean, they've been doing this for years. This is my first rodeo. Let me see. What did I do with that overlay? Where did it go? Oh, hold on. That's what I've got to do. Guys, bear with me, man. I'm special. I tell everyone I rode the small school bus, the little yellow bus. I came from a small neighborhood. Don't ever forget that. Okay. I'm trying my best. I was able to pull it up, so let me see. Video's playing soon. Give me this video, man. Where are you at? So when can you download the game? If you've already pre-ordered the game, you're going to be able to download the game to your Xbox or PlayStation today. And at 4 p.m. on Monday, you're going to see people start to have access to the game. So early access is going to start Monday the 15th at 4 p.m. Now, technically, they're going to say early access is going to be the 16th, but the reason why they're doing it the way that they are is because they don't want everyone jumping on, the game, and then next thing you know, the servers are flooded. We don't want, and EA doesn't want that to happen. So I'm going to get in here. I mean, Bordeaux's giving us some information and talking over it. Let me see if I can turn that off. I also don't want those on there. I mean, that's great, but it is what it is. I mean, he's talking through this. Thank you guys for being patient through my technical difficulties. There's nothing wrong with this. It's all me. It's user error. But yeah, I mean, that's what it is. So you're going to be able to play the game. You'll start being able to play the game Monday at 4 p.m. Now, whether or not everyone's going to be able to get on at the same time, I think they're going to stagger it. It would be in their best interest, because what we don't want is for 1 million people to jump on the game all at the same time. And then now the servers crash, and then people are going to have a bad first experience and then be pissed off. That'd be a bad PR hit for EA. Now, he's using, if you guys have watched any of my content, I talk about rebuilding a team, not, building a team, not like Kennesaw State, rebuilding a team. I'm very intrigued by Nebraska. They're number 3 on my list. And the reason is they've got Dylan Raiola, who's the quarterback. His family, his dad, his uncles, all that stuff, all played at Nebraska. But Dylan is the number 1 quarterback in this class. And he originally committed to play at the University of Georgia. And Dylan is going to be day 1 quarterback at Nebraska. So if you're looking for a legit rebuild of a traditional powerhouse team who has struggled recently, who hasn't won a title, hasn't been relevant in recent history, at least the last 20 years, I'm looking at Nebraska. I'm looking at Miami. Even though Miami's been rated, I think this year they're top 15, Miami hasn't taken that next step. Everyone, with all the skill and talent and everything that they have, and I'm not throwing shots. I'm from 305. I'm from Hollywood, Florida, which is Broward County, but I was, that's where I was at in Miami. You just walk across the street, Hollandale Beach Boulevard, and now you're in Miami-Dade County. I'm from Miami. I'm from the MIA. I claim that. So, but my Louisville fandom takes over. Louisville over everything. I love the Ohio State. I explained it last night. I lived in Cleveland, Ohio, 7 years. I grew up watching Ohio State football during my impressionable years. So I like the Ohio State. But I've always watched as a fan of college football. Growing up, 1985, 86, 87, I'm in my teens. I'm in middle school. And you're watching the University of Miami jump on an airplane or coming off the airplane, and these cats are wearing camouflage. Ain't no one doing that back in the day, man. Like, Miami was different. The U was different. And either you loved them or hate them. But you had the Catholics versus the convicts. They go play Notre Dame. And, it's them against the world. You either love Miami or you hated them. And for the most part, everyone hated Miami football like they hate Duke basketball. You didn't like the U. People didn't like those guys that were braggadocious and confident and arrogant. That's not a flaw, man. I played defensive back. I had a chip on my shoulder. I talk smack. I give up a touchdown. Forget it. Move on to the next play. It's a part of football. I mean, there's no shutouts. The problem is when you play DB like I did, when we make a mistake, if we give up a play, it might not even be a mistake. You just might, someone might be better than you on that play. They out-scheme you. You give up a touchdown. Everyone sits there and, oh, man, you got beat. You got beat. What about those linemen up there missing 12 blocks a game and no one says nothing about it? You don't see that. That's facts. You make a mistake inside the trenches, defensive tackle falls down, gets steamrolled. No one sees that, man. You've got a linebacker behind you. You got a safety behind you. He missed the tackle. Everyone's like, oh, that's safety. The linebackers miss tackles all game. But because you're in the secondary and everyone has the vision and can see those mistakes in the open field, man, we're the bad guys. You know, it's like at DB, I could play 99% of the time and not make, one mistake. You up, big plays for the whole game, not give up a catch. I get bombed on one time, and I say bombed on, the guy might make a catch, contested catch in coverage, and I'm smacking down his arm, and the guy just, is able to haul it in with his strong arm and pull it in. Buddy, I'm right there. I'm doing my job. It's not like I got beaten. I didn't run with the guy down the field. It's just the guy made a play. It happens. There's many battles throughout the whole game. So, we're watching him. He's recruiting. This is fun. I mean, when you go in here, now this year is different. Is different. If you guys haven't watched the videos, if you haven't watched these breakdowns and watched the Dynasty deep dive and all that stuff, what we've learned is, in the past NCAA football versions, you would hard pitch someone and you would know if you were very high or medium or whatever, it was average, low, very low. In today's version of the game, the recruits only care about 3 pitches. That's all they care about is 3. Now, you can gimmick the game and through abilities try to sway them. What's going on, Tebow, man? Thank you. You can try to sway guys' pitches. So, like, you might suck at academics, but you have proximity to home is something that's your strong suit. The guy might be in your backyard, and right now, he doesn't think I want to stay close to home. You can go in there and sway and maybe change his mind and be like, hey, let's reconsider this. And now the guy might be interested in actually in 4 things. Great pick here. So he wins this game, 22-15, makes a great play at the end of the game. You see Raiola, freshman quarterback, 287 yards, 3 tutties. But he's back in, jumping into recruiting. And Nebraska's winning a lot of these battles. Make sure that you guys are offering scholarships. If you don't offer a scholarship, the guy will never be able to commit because you can't bring him in for a recruiting visit. Right now, he's looking at all the different pitch types. For him, he could sit there and hard sell if he knew playing time, or coaching style. Whatever it is, it might be your facilities. At Nebraska, they actually have good facilities. You might be able to sit there and use that. Play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. Make sure that you're pitching these guys to things that you're good at least B- or higher. At least B- or higher. Shout out to Kurt, All-State linebacker, 2012. Yeah, man. Stay in your lane. That's the thing. Oh, nice pick. He's going to celebrate. He's making some plays right now. Of course, they're playing. Come on, man. That's a terrible read. But they win 38-13. New York, 4 catches, 130-some yards. But you're here to sell yourself and sell your program. Don't forget that. As someone who's been in that role, you want to make sure that you're selling what you do good. When you go into these recruiting battles and, if you're in Dynasty against other guys, it works 2 ways. It's twofold. So if you can sell stuff that you're really good at, that you're B- or higher, you're going to get that reaction. You're going to see how that bar at the top will improve and go higher. On the flip side, though, if you're hard pitching stuff that you're terrible at, it's going to take an impact. You're going to lose some of that, relationship that you had with that recruit. And you got to stay within, if it's top 10, top 8, top 5, top 3, as he cuts down, his list of schools, whoever the recruits are, you have to be within those certain parameters, because otherwise they'll lock you out and then you can't recruit the guy. You don't want to spend 10 games trying to go after a guy and then you lose a battle because you didn't ever move into his top 5 to be able to bring him in for a visit. You got to know when you're going to win battles, and cut ties. Identify that, you're not going to be able to win every recruiting battle. Can you stop, pivot, and move on to the next recruit? Find the next big guy that's going to be the big dog for your team. Florida. Yeah, I mean, you got a great recruiting base. And now what they've done is this year, look, let me stop right now in the middle of that thought. So he had up there, always be recruiting. Whenever you get that as a coordinator or if the head coach and that's your recruiting, if you see always be recruiting, always go after that. It's like tier 3. And what that does is that gives you an ability to talk to a player for more hours. By default, you can talk to every player for 50 hours a week. But in some instances, if you have these abilities and you have always be recruiting, you can now talk to a player for 60 hours or 70 hours a week. So you're at an advantage against your peers. I say that, though, if they're watching my videos, if they're watching some of these, content, and they're getting their information, you might also be in a disadvantage. You might have someone else who knows what the hell they're doing, and they've unlocked that, ability. Now, both of you guys are going to have the same player. Alabama's recruiting a guy for 70 hours a week. Auburn's recruiting a guy for 50 hours a week. You're going to lose that because by default, 20 hours a week, he's always talking more than you are. Now, at least if you guys are both on equal footing and you're both going 70 hours compared to the default 50, you at least maybe have a chance. Maybe one week he doesn't talk to them. It comes into the other factors and what their visit type is. But if I'm going after some of these abilities, the one that I'm always going to go after is tier 3, always be recruiting. And that's going to impact if you can talk to individual players at positions. Depending on what your coordinator is. Your coordinator might be more prone to talk to quarterbacks and coach quarterbacks. So he only gets that for quarterbacks. You as a head coach might be more impactful with running backs or receivers. Use whatever you have at your strength to your advantage. That's what I say. Stay in your lane. Do what you do well. If I'm taking over the Nebraska first year, I might, as a head coach, be a recruiter. You have 3 archetypes that you can be: recruiter, motivator, tactician. In my head coaching role, I'm out there shaking hands and kissing babies, trying to bring the top talent to Nebraska. My offensive coordinator first year, I might also have a recruiter as well as my defensive coordinator. But moving on, later on, I might make sure that my OC is a tactician, X's and O's, that he's going to draw up plays. And then I'm going to have that tier, that branch that I can fall back on during my journey as a head coach. And then I might make my defensive coordinator the motivator. He could be the bad cop. He can yell at the guys and scream at them and, and play in that role. And then I'm branching out. I'm being more flexible, more multi-dimensional. But if you have 3 recruiters on the staff or 3 motivators, tacticians, you can also stack those abilities, which is going to help you win some recruiting battles, but also might limit you against other guys that have gameplay strategy or whatever, coaching strategy. Thank you, Mr. T. I appreciate it, man. I've been doing this for a minute. T-Bone says, my homie Kurt racetrack against McCaffrey back in the day. That's big. And, you say that we, here at University of Louisville, Christian McCaffrey's brother committed to come here to Louisville and then came to campus for the off season. Christian McCaffrey's brother came to University of Louisville, came here and then realized, hey, this ain't the place for me. He's never going to crack the depth chart. Never going to crack the depth chart. That dude ended up transferring. I think he's transferred somewhere else. But yeah, McCaffrey's brother, I mean, he's an athlete. I think he went to somewhere in Texas. I'm not going to look it up. I don't have time. Yesterday I was already wrong once and had someone call me out on it. So I'm never wrong. If I sit there and misspeak and say something, y'all misheard what I said. Never happened. Dwayne said he's going to roll with the Cardinals. I mean, I'm going to line up. I'll probably start a Dynasty day one with Louisville just to get kind of familiar with everything going on. But I'm also going to, in the backdrop, use a lower level team. Maybe a Texas San Antonio. I'm really inclined to use Tulane. I'm interested in playing in the teal field, Coastal Carolina. They've got some. That's right, T-Bone. He thanks for looking it up, man. He went to Rice, but that dude was at the University of Louisville, man. He was at U of L. So yeah, Christian McCaffrey, man. And he's different. I mean, his dad was a baller. Don't forget it, man. I mean, his dad was a legit receiver back in the day, playing for the Broncos, and so they've had a chance to kind of peek behind the curtain, know what NFL life is about, traveling, the work that goes in. Another one is, Marvin Harrison Jr. He got to see what his dad did for years. Those guys are at advantage. I mean, they've got relationships. They're able to go out there and catch the ball and stuff. I'm talking about the younger bro. He was at U of L and was here for a blink of an eye before he left and went to Rice because they were looking for playing time. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was a young, yeah, it wasn't Duke. He went to school in Texas. But yeah, I mean, those guys know what's going on. They realize the grind. So, they're out there catching balls as ball boys and they're going to practices and they understand the commitment that football is. I mean, there's so many guys that are so talented, who never make it to the NFL. Because they get sidetracked, they've got their crew with them, and they don't focus on what they need to do. I mean, they'll have, a 1 year or 2 year career, but they're not putting in the work, showing up to practice, putting their nose in the playbook, and doing stuff like that. You've got to live the life. They get there and they start making some money, and they're out there partying and 2 o'clock in the morning, and really they ought to be in their hotel. Watching film, trying to see what they can do better, trying to see what the opponents can do, because it's a next man up league. In NFL, it's easier for them to go find a rookie they can pay cheaper than to keep veterans who have been in the game for 8 or 10 years. They're always looking for the next guy that can do it for cheaper. The teams right now in NFL that have the best chance to win Super Bowls is always the teams that can get a quarterback on a rookie contract. Anyway, Dylan is balling out. I mean, right now he's got Nebraska 7-4, 4-4 in the Big Ten. They're going to a bowl game, obviously. He is doing a great job recruiting. I mean, he's picking up these guys. Right now, Nebraska's got 20 players, 1 5-star, which that's very realistic. I mean, they are a traditional program. I mean, you can see a guy from the Midwest wanting to stay close to home. Back in the day, what Nebraska would do in real life, he's thrown 3,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, 12 picks as a true freshman. Wow. Jalen Milroe won the Heisman in this one. So Milroe and his ability to be a dual threat has played dividends. I watched the Kennesaw State breakdown the other day by Drew, NotTheExpert, and Shadur Sanders won that Heisman. So looks like right now the 2 best quarterbacks in the game have been Milroe and Shadur, and they're both dual threats. They can actually not only throw the ball and throw the ball well, but also can run the ball and are multifaceted. That's pretty good. And Bordeaux, man, hey, go check this guy out. I mean, he started off, I believe, doing Instagram, and has just built up his brand. Very well spoken young man. Puts out great content. So, make sure you guys go check him out. I mean, I want you guys to follow these guys, and they're the ones who right now who have the video. They're in the EA Creators Network. I'm trying to get my foot in the door there. I've applied. The one advantage that I have over a lot of people right now is that I can cater to a different demographic. I'm 50 years old. I've got a different perspective on this. I've been playing video games for well over 30 years. Been playing college football since it was Bill Walsh in 1991. I've got a long history of these games. I know the ins and outs. I can give you a perspective of being on that side as a former player, former coach who's been involved with D1 athletes and sending them off to college. So I've been involved with real life recruiting. So I give you, a little bit of my background and what I've seen on a day to day. And EA they do respect that. I mean, they understand it. The one disadvantage is I shut down my YouTube channel for about 11 years. I mean, I wasn't putting out content from Madden. That's a crowded community. There's a lot of guys who do great stuff. And one guy really, and I'll sit here and throw him love all day, every day, is Dubby. I mean, if you guys are watching gameplay, and he actually has some, you can subscribe to him and actually go on there and pay him. And you can play head-to-head games, and he'll tell you some different things. My son's actually talked to W a lot, and he tries to learn from him. But, as far as head-to-head, W just knows what my son's doing, because my son is just a mini clone of W, and he tries to do everything he does. And W, while he's great at what he does, so he knows all the counters to even himself. He knows what he's good at, what he's bad at. So every time my son plays, he's trying to use the same thing. So he's W light. But, Joaquin White, which is my son, that's his, gamer tag, has beat Henry twice, who's been the Madden champ 8 times. He's played with Greenwood, Indiana, which is just south of Indianapolis. I know that from my number one customer in real life is FedEx and UPS, so we deal with that FedEx hub up in Greenwood, Indiana. But anyway, what I was saying is he's played problem right, taken problem down to the wire several times. I mean, he missed a field goal, fumbled the ball on the 1 yard line. So anyway, the point is he's probably a top 150, 200 level player. If my son can ever get over the hump, he's a top 100 player. I mean, he's in MCS all the time competing. He's had some bad breaks in the tournaments. Disconnects and stuff like that. And then we're not live streaming the games. We have the capability now, but you're going back and you're showing the admin, hey, this guy just DC'd me. And, you're taking losses in games that honestly, I mean, he's beating a guy by 3 or 4 touchdowns and the guy disconnects and you're not getting credit for wins. That sucks. I mean, you can even take a screenshot and it's whoever's that, whoever that admin is. And then depending on what tournament it is, sometimes you can't onside kick and stuff, and unless you're losing in the fourth quarter and stuff, depending on what level you're in. If you're in just qualifiers, all bets are off. Do what you want. But then once you get to the MCS, there's different rules and stuff that everyone has to live by. So that's just a little bit of background on Madden. We're going to host at FairdaleKings.com, which is my website, some tournaments and stuff. I'm trying to get the community involved. I'm hosting dynasties. Involved in a lot, 32-man dynasties. We'll see what goes on. I mean, I love this game. I got to make sure I've got enough time to stay active in all the dynasties and not spread myself out too thin, but also be able to make some content and give you guys, a place to come to watch and react to my videos. I say it over and over again. Make sure you guys are commenting down below, hitting like and subscribe. It does not cost one dime to subscribe. It's just a matter of, it helps the YouTube algorithm to give more people a chance to see my content, to watch my videos. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers right now, or followers, whatever you want to call it, then I can start, I'll have some chance to have some ads and stuff like that, which gives me a chance to make some money. Patrick Mahomes ditches Texas Tech and EA college football. What are they talking about? I just got a pop up on the screen. I don't even know there's no way. Anyway, so we're looking at his recruiting. Make sure, like I said, I'll say it again so I'm blue in the face, that you guys are playing to your strengths in recruiting. 5-star programs in the off season have access to 1,000 recruiting hours a week. 1-star programs only get 350 hours. So if you're a 5-star, for instance, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Texas, you can recruit 20 players for 50 hours a week. You can actually go talk to 20 different players. If you're a 1-star program, and that's where the disadvantage is at, and why it helps to be one of the big name programs, you can only put, and you can put more people, but if you want to maximize your efforts, you could talk to 7 players for 50 hours and use your 350. He just bombed this guy. Computer, but I mean, he still was able to make a big play over top. But he's running jet here. But anyway, what I'm saying is, so 5 stars can put 20 guys on the board and talk to them for the max. As a 1-star program, you can only talk to 7 guys for the max. So there's a huge disadvantage. But you've got to win those recruiting battles and know when to, stay in it and when to cut your losses and move on and go find someone else that wants to play for you. And where I had a problem with Drew, with Not the Experts video was, yeah, he signed a 5-star and 4 4-stars. Get whatever. I mean, that's good. But he did all that and ignored the fact that he had some recruiting needs. He needed a defensive end. He's playing with like a 56 overall defensive end. What are you doing? Like, what are we doing here? You talked about they didn't have a fullback on the roster and you went and got a fullback. That's great, but what impact is that fullback really going to have overall? I mean, yeah, get that need in their pistol, because, Kennesaw State, if you guys play with Kennesaw, in real life, they use a lot of 2 tight ends. They're not as athletically gifted as some of the other teams. Their offense was more triple option, and they've gone more to a pistol option now. So you're going to have a lot of 12 personnel, which, that's 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, but they call it 12 personnel. They're going to use, Kennesaw State's going to use a lot of 12 personnel, regardless if it's going to be 2 tight ends, 1 on each side of the line, or if it's going to be a tight end and a wing tight end, H-back. They're going to use that when they run the pistol. They're going to run a lot of halfback lead, halfback power. They're going to run speed option because they've got a mobile quarterback at Kennesaw State. Play to your strengths, whatever it is. Utilize what you have at your disposal. You might need to change the playbook to cater to your play style. Do that. But remember, it's also going to impact your team needs. If you're a spread offense, you're going to need 10 wide receivers. If you're running something with 2 running backs with a fullback and a tight end and a halfback, now you only need 6 wide receivers. And there's a way. I mean, you can kind of game the system. You can change playbooks every week. So if going in at the end of the season, for at least recruiting purposes, change your playbook after the bowl game maybe, and have something. You might not have 10 wide receivers on your board, and you're not going to be able to sign 10. Maybe you change your playbook to an offense that's more catered to being, 2 running backs, and then you can just live with the 6, and now you ain't got to worry about adding walk-ons to your team. You can sign as many good players as you want. And then once you get to the season, yeah, you're going to have some holes in your offense, but you can also sign some athletes and move them through the transfer portal and whatever. There's ways to work around this. Revival. Yeah, I mean, that's in my Louisville dynasty, that's what we'll be doing. I mean, Pat Kelsey's doing it on the football side of things. Louisville has a top 25 defense, though. I mean, we've got a lot of guys aren't familiar with what the Louisville Cardinals have, but we've got a top 5 corner in the game in Quincy Riley, one of the fastest cornerbacks with most acceleration in the game. And then also we have Ashton Gelati at left end, who's a top 3 defensive end, top 4 defensive end on the game, maybe a 90 overall. Louisville has some pieces. We're going to have a really talented receiver in Lacey, who transferred from South Alabama. We're going to have some transfers from, Miami at running back. We've got a lot of guys. Jeff Brom's hit the transfer portal hard. He's embraced the transfer portal like Florida State. He's heavily invested in the transfer portal. We haven't signed the best high school recruiting classes, but he's filling needs. And that's what you've got to do, in your dynasty as you do this. God, dog, he just gave that up down the seam. You have to, do what's in your best interest. If that's signing freshmen, you want a mixed bag. You want to bring in freshmen, add a handful of JUCOs, and then make sure that you're signing guys in the transfer portal. Yeah, Dwayne. I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, it's tough to do when you're adulting to do all this because there's so much level of depth. Thank God, in my role now, 50 years old, my daughter, my youngest one, just graduated from college. I don't have to go to football practices. You know, I'm not coaching high school anymore. I'm not coaching youth league after that. You know, I would be as soon as school is out after I work in a building, 2:30, I'm on a practice field till 5. 6 o'clock, I'm out there with youth league till 8:30 at night. I don't have to worry about that now. My role of adulting, I don't have to take my kids back and forth to practices. I don't have any grandkids that have to go watch. So right now, I'm in this part of my life, at least at 50, that I can put forward this attention to detail like I was 16, 17, 18 years old all over again. Yeah, I'm going to work my full-time job till 5 o'clock, but man, 6 o'clock comes around after I sit there and get back to the house. I'm loading up the game and I'm playing college football, and then later on, you know, Madden when that releases for a little bit. But I'm in a different area than a lot of people. I'm a little bit more fortunate that I'm going to be able to focus on college football and play 6, 8, 10 hours and dedicate to this, and hopefully put out some content that you guys can use, because maybe you don't have the time to get all these tips and tricks and, you know, strategy. You don't have time to go in lab and go in practice mode, but you can watch my video real quick. I might put together a breakdown, 8 minutes, and instead of you spending 3 hours trying to go into practice mode and figure out what's a cover three beat, or what's a man beat, or how do you beat palms? How do you beat double Mabel? Then maybe I can sit here and, you know, put together some videos, 3-minute, 5-minute clips real quick. And it's hard because I get on the mic and I just don't shut up. I start rambling. But anyway, that you guys can watch some of my content and take notes and jump on the game and know that, you know, you can play with confidence that, hey, I watched Fairdale do this, FK did this and this and this, and then, you know, you can use it. He missed a field goal. Guys, this kicking meter is different. You're going to have to spend time actually in practice mode getting used to kicking the ball. And then when you factor in, if you guys have any level of leg at all, if that does factor in, this could be a nightmare with kicking meter. I've seen guys missing what should be give me kicks. And he's playing on All-American. I know in our Dynasty, we're all playing on Heisman. I mean, we're going to play at the highest level we always have. It's just, I mean, we've got guys who's played football video games for years, and we're going to play on the highest level. So it does carry. I mean, it'll help some of the guys in our league who are less talented probably be fired in year 3. They're going to win 3 games and get smacked by every user. So hopefully when they take over Notre Dame, that they already have a backup plan, because year 2, year 3, they're getting fired. But, I mean, this is awesome. I mean, I can't say this enough. I mean, the level of detail in recruiting. Now, listen, don't get discouraged by it. Dwayne talked about it. You know, it's going to be tough to learn all the nuances of recruiting and all the level of detail. You can set it up that if you're going to recruit and you've got your objective set, like I'm going to talk to this guy for 50 hours a week. If you've simulated a game and you forget to recruit, the computer's still going to recruit that guy on your board for 50 hours or whatever you last did by default. It's going to do the same thing until you go in and physically change it, because they realize that people do have lives. And, you know, sometimes your commissioner is going to advance the season without your knowledge, or, you know, you might, like you said, have a life to live. You're dealing with the kids. You might have some other distractions. You got to deal with the misses, and you might not be able to play a game every 3 or 4 days, and the commission advances the game on you. Set it up. Set up your recruiting board. Whatever you did the previous week is going to carry over until you change it. I mean, yeah, it could impact you if you forgot to bring in a guy in for a visit and stuff like that. So you want to stay involved. But even if you do forget, they're going to help you. Other things, and, some people don't agree with it. I'm not necessarily on board with it, but there's going to be some recruits that no one is ever going to pay attention to. It's built in that way to help guys who are playing in one-star dynasties that just want to, have fun. He missed another one. He missed this awful. That give you a chance to, jump on some recruits that no one else is really paying attention to. Those would be 3- and 4-star players, and there are people who think, man, look, I found this gem. I'm a stud. Oh, he got smacked. Hawaii just caused a turnover. And this guy's going to take it to the house. He ain't walking him. That big lineman is not going to walk him. Put him to sleep. Bordeaux's down 13-0 to the CPU. That's a good pass. Takes the timeout. 18 seconds to go. Clock management. He damn near threw another pick. Runs the same play. Comes right back. Throws it. 4th and go. 3 seconds. Gets a touchdown before halftime. He's going to hang on. Rock the baby. He going for, third quarter. 4th and inches. And he's running the quarterback. Momentum carried that guy to the first down. He picks up a touchdown here. Celebrates. Now, that's one thing. There's like 25, 30 celebrations, guys. So, I mean, you've got to look at all those and see what button combinations you're going to enjoy and use. I mean, makes a nice pick here. Up 21-19, makes a stop. So, I mean, so you guys watch and make sure that, you come back. I'm going to jump back on tonight, live stream from 8 to 10 and watch the Mike Vick and Tim Tebow are playing tonight. Check out all the content, though, that all the fellow creators are putting out this weekend. There's going to be a lot of different people who are releasing stuff. Dub.Dobby. Dub.Dubby. Not Dobby. I'm not talking about Harry Potter. Dubby is putting out videos. Not the Stranger's going to put out some stuff. There's a lot of people who's going to be putting out content. There it is. Chad Ochocinco tomorrow. Quinn Ewers. Shane Gillis going to have some stuff tomorrow. Big Cat. Travis Hunter. Shadur Sanders. You see Ben Hallmiller is going to be on here from 6 to 8 tonight doing a Dynasty showcase. Michigan won this national championship. End of season recap for 2025. Nebraska's already jumped up there. 89 overall, 89 offense, 89 defense. You have a chance to persuade Coleman. Very high chance of persuading him to stay at Nebraska as opposed to going to pro draft. He was able to convince that guy by swaying him to come back and play another year. That's nice. Even though you can't actually export these guys or import them into to Madden, there is some level of ability to go pro, go to the NFL draft, some realism involved. The problem with why we can't import players into Madden is these guys sign NIL deals for college football. They're not a member of the NFLPA, so that's why they can't use them in Madden. That's why I can't carry over into Madden, because these guys right now are not members of the Players Association. Whereas in the past we could, and everyone's like, well, what's the difference? Well, now there's been lawsuits. Now there's been legal precedent set. And EA does not want to have to deal with that problem ever again. That's why we can't edit numbers. We're trying to get that changed. Hopefully the community stands up for it. I mean, because I can't change names. Okay, lock the names. I can't change names. That's what I did for 12 years. But what you can do is let me change the player numbers. Really? Arch Manning's on the game. That was the biggest fear, was that everyone was going to go in there and edit players and make them Arch Manning. Arch Manning now signed a $50,000 NIL deal. He's on the game. Him and the Manning family are going to be putting out videos, which they already have. Tell them, like, hey, I'm on the game. They're doing little skits and stuff. He's going to sell the game, even though he's a backup quarterback. The Manning family carries weight. I mean, watch NFL on Monday nights. I'm watching the Manning cast to listen to their stories and deal with that, that's awesome. I'd rather listen to them and hear what they've done and lean on their experiences as opposed to watching an actual broadcast team who are just rambling. Doug Satry, president, CEO of Tony Satry, is in the building. He's a huge LSU fan. Got to be able to decide who wears number 18. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Doug. Some of these teams have traditions that, I know Texas A&M, I think the walk-on gets to wear number 12 to represent the 12th man. You've got to be able to decide what guys are wearing your number that's identifiable. You might have, for whatever reason, I think at Ole Miss, they wear number 38. They had a guy, I think, broke his neck or something back in the day, and now in support of him and giving him some recognition and throwing him a little bit of flowers. Whoever wears number 38 at Ole Miss, there's a reason why they wear number 38. And they might wear it on a weekly basis. They might have someone who wears a number because a legend wore a number for, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and you've got a guy who wears number X, whatever it is, XYZ. Give us that flexibility to go in. I mean, I want to go in. I don't want to look up and my damn defensive end is wearing number 1. I want to give number 1 to my freshman recruit came in, who is my best playmaker. I want to make him number 1. I want to remember that, hey, this guy was a 5-star. I signed 1 5-star on this 3-star team. Who is it? Oh, he's number 1. Okay. If I got a guy that's a corner and he's a stud, I want to give him number 21. The reason why number 21 is my number. But more importantly, number 21 was Deion Sanders' number in NFL. In college, Deion wore number 2 at Florida State. I might make him number 2. I have a rhyme or reason why I do everything. I make sure that the offensive linemen are going to have numbers that make sense. I'm going to make sure that running back groups have numbers that make sense. I don't want to look up at my damn starting running back's number 49. He's given a random number. I want to assign number 32. I want to give the guy, whatever. If it's number 5 for USC, which was Reggie Bush, I want to make sure that guys have numbers that actually make sense. My receivers are wearing numbers 80 through 89. But we'll see. Maybe EA will come to their senses and listen to the community and be like, you know what? Changing the numbers is not that big a deal. Give us the chance to change numbers who are any player that's not identified as a actual NIL, a guy with a real name on the game. They have the ability to go in and recognize which guys are actually on the default rosters, which are, real players. Lock them out. Gray out their ability to change their number. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Arch Manning don't want to change his number from 16 to or whatever. I'm just throwing a number. Don't from number 16 or number 18 to number 1. Okay, I mean, that's his legacy, that's his number. Okay, we can't change that. Gray it out. You can't change him. But this guy just ran a flea flicker for a tutty. I hope that's not OP, man. This is now twice that I've watched someone run a flea flicker and they got a touchdown. Even with the significant pass rush, that I've seen flea flickers for touchdowns with that double reverse and then throwing the ball and putting it on the roof. Unique play. I mean, it's great to see. And I say that in real life, Jeff Brom at the University of Louisville, we do gimmicks like that. He's got a bag. I mean, every game we go in, we've got 1 trick play per quarter. Jeff Brom has those. They take shots, and sometimes when they fail, I'm like, what are we doing? Because when it's you're either going to score a touchdown and make a big play, or it's going to be a bust and you're going to lose 10, 12 yards. So, yeah, you're rolling the dice. You're taking a chance. But when those plays blow up in your face, it also has huge consequences. I mean, we come out, we run reverses, which everyone runs reverse, but we're running double reverses. We're running damn tight end reverses. We're running flea flickers. We're running double passes. All that stuff, man. We throw the ball out to a wide receiver, and next thing you know, he catches the ball. He's throwing a double pass as a quarterback sneaks out into the flats or runs a wheel route on the backside. That's what we do at the University of Louisville. We've been doing that stuff for years. John L. Smith did it. Bobby Petrino, master of X and O's, and go in. I mean, if you watch Bobby Petrino call a play, especially first series of a game, He knew exactly what defenses were going to come out and do, and he would scheme them. He knew that if he came out in a 3-by-1 set, how the defense was going to align, because that's what they do. They're going to adjust. They're going to come out. He's watched film. He's done his study. He's going to come out. All right, Dwayne, I'll be on tonight. Make sure you guys check it out. I'll be on tonight from 8 to 10. I'm on a live stream, Mike Vick versus Tim Tebow. Check out the content, guys. I know there's going to be some stuff coming on soon. Go enjoy your day. Hang out with your kids, your loved ones, your wife. I joked last night, and I'll say it again. He just ran another flea flicker. But I did it last night, man. My wife's going to be single on Monday. I told her. We were sitting at the kitchen table this morning outside. Well, I say kitchen table, outside on the porch. And I told her, I said, I just told everyone last night, you're going to be single. She said, well, who are you giving me to? I mean, whatever. I mean, hopefully I find someone with money. I'm married to college football. My wife's going to be my side chick. She's going to be my mistress. I'll see her a couple hours a week. I'm going to be cheating on college football with my wife. I'm married to college football. Y'all can laugh, but like, dude, you're crazy. She knows it. I was a football coach for 20 years. She knows the dedication I have for this. And right now I can sit here and my focus now, instead of watching film and breaking down real football film, because I would be encased in, I'd watch film for 4 hours a night and do college football. So I'm breaking down film. I'm looking at people's, not only our breakdown on what teams did against us, but I'm looking at what other teams and what their tendencies were. I'm dedicating that now to playing college football. I'm going to be doing content. I'll be going back and watching people in my dynasty if I can convince them to all, live stream shit. Excuse me, YouTube, don't cancel me. But live stream, I'm going to watch their film, man. And I'll be looking at their tendencies, what they're doing on first down, what they're doing in second and long, because everyone's got nuances. They're going to do the same stuff that they're strong at. If you're not, you're a fool. I'm not going to run just 3 plays, rinse and repeat, but I've got some kind of idea of what I can do out of different formations and what my strengths are, what my weaknesses. But yeah, my wife, thank God, and a lot of people ain't in this row of mindset. We work together. So I'm looking at her 9 hours a day in the office. So we've got a great relationship. It's a love-hate relationship. I love her. She hates me. It works out. It's what I've grown to love and experience. I love my wife, and she hates looking at me. I mean, we've been together for 27 years now. A lot of work. But now we're in a part of our life that she ain't got to see me every day. She's got her own thing. She's watching her videos and her content. I'm doing my stuff on the side. I'm in my lab. I'm in the studio. I've always called this my lab. When I edited rosters, I was going to the lab because I was always thinking up. And one of my buddies, and I'll throw out another legend, man, mad scientist. He used to have a website, and he played with some guys, Philly Ron and those guys back in the day. But they used to go down to EA Tiburon when it was actually Tiburon Studios in Orlando, and put out video and content. But mad scientist, and for me, he had a great name, Mad Scientist, because he was always drawing up some crazy stuff. And I did the same thing. So I stole a little bit from him and used to tell everyone I was going to the lab. When I went into the lab, I was making rosters for 4 days, 6 days. That's what I did. And I didn't want to be bothered. My wife knew, leave me alone. Now, when the memory cards were done and I was selling memory cards, full of rosters, I was paying my kids 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 years old. They had a job. I'm putting all the names in the game, and then you guys are upload the rosters. One of them were doing that. The other was sealing it and putting an envelope, and then I'm going to the post office and dropping off 200-300 memory cards a day for about 6 weeks. Buying, memory cards from a distributor, $10 a pop, and I'm selling them for $40, which is retail price. If you had to go to Target or Best Buy and you bought a memory card back in the day, you spent $40 for that memory card. But I was able to buy a memory card for $10, sometimes even sell them for $25 and give guys a discount. But I was still making $15 a pop. I mean, so it was lucrative. It was a nice little side hustle, as well as coaching football, which I made 10 cents an hour. But that was my side hustle. I could sit there and, buy memory cards for $10 and sell them for $25 or $40 or whatever. And then guys would, believe it or not, they're still throwing me $100. Like, dude, we respect you. Here's your donation. Like, yes. And there's plenty of people who weren't in that row. If you're, in 6th, 7th grade, you can go download my roster. It didn't cost you a dime. My rosters were 1,000% free. But if you wanted to buy a memory card, you bought a memory card. I gave you an option. For you guys, and Doug, if you're watching, Doug Satchery, we talked about this on his podcast. He's got a show, The Nonsense Chronicles, on Apple and Spotify and all these different platforms. We've done 2 podcasts. Go check him out. He talks about a wide variety of things, but we've had two great conversations on The Nonsense Chronicles and talked about college football. And then we had one that was all about Dynasty for 1 full hour, talking about Dynasty mode. But my point was, back in the day, there was a device called the Action Replay, and you would plug it into your computer, and then you would download the rosters from online where I'd post it on Operation Sports or Pasta Padres website or whatever. If it was VG Sports and Bert English site, he used to do the Prima Game magazines. One of the guys who actually did was Farley. Zach Farley used to post. Z Farles, who was a Madden player who now works for EA. He would download my rosters, through the Action Replay. But that was a device that I had, and everyone had to go buy it. And I had to learn how, before I could put this out to the whole community, because no one knew what the heck an Action Replay was. No one was using that. Like, no one. I probably made Action Replay tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, because the only way you could access my rosters and DT Lender's rosters and whoever you were, using back in the day was that you had to have an Action Replay for about 2 or 3 years. These things weren't selling if it wasn't for college football. No one was downloading anything else except for college football rosters. That company made bank because of me, and I didn't see one dime from them. No sponsorship. No, there was no ads or stuff like that. Oh, well, this guy, he recommended everyone come to my site. So they thought they were killing it. Action Replay and that company thought they were killing it. Mr. T, you're 100% right. Perfect marriage. I love her. She hates me. She hates to see my face, man. We go to work. We drive together. She's like, dude, I'm driving. We go the same damn place, man. So I'm driving by myself. I want to listen to my own music today. She puts in her headphones. We go to work. She's focused on her content, watching YouTube videos, talking to her niece. I'm playing whatever I'm playing. If it's, Mexican OT, that dude, hey, man, fire. If you guys ain't turned on to him, he's a rapper from Bay City, Texas, just outside of Houston, who was blown up. His last album wasn't the greatest, but the one before that was when he really got a lot of recognition. But, I've listened to the Mexican OT here a lot in the last 2 years. Last summer, really. Awesome. I talked about last night, Eminem's album dropped. I'm listening to Eminem. So, there's a lot of you guys listen to 2 forms of music. Bless your heart. And that's, you listen to country and you listen to Western. Whatever. It's not for everyone. I grew up in a culture that I listen to rap music. I was turned on to rap when I was 10 years old. My dad was a jockey. We were down in Evansville, Indiana. The University of Evansville was a couple blocks away, and I was able to get feeds at night of the college radio station. And I'm blown away. Like, I'm not from the inner city. I mean, I've had interaction with it. When I was in high school, I spent a lot of time in the projects, but and nothing against it. My wife's from the projects. Don't get it twisted. I mean, she's got a hood in her. I can sit here and talk the lingo and beach holy professional and yes, sir, no, sir. A lot of people think I was in the military, but I also can relate and, talk in a different manner, and keep it real, keep it 100. I can juggle those between being at work and being in my professional life and coming on here and being a head coach and relating to kids, to the youth, but also put on my professional side. So anyway, my point is that I was listening to rap music and Schoolie D and Ice-T, and these guys are dropping, F-bombs and cussing. Like, at that time, I'm listening to, Michael Jackson and Prince and and my mom listened to the Commodores, and we're watching, listening to Lionel Richie, and I'm watching Pat Benatar, all this stuff. I listen to Elvis Presley, listen to stuff like that, and then I get turned on to rap music, not hip hop. This guy runs another flea flicker. It's wide open. I hope this is not OP. I mean, maybe it is against computer. I've watched now 3 or 4 plays for big plays for touchdowns running a flea flicker. So anyway, my point is I was brought up in that, and my uncles and stuff listen to country and listen to Western. It's not a knock on you. My daughter loves it. She listens to rap music, but she's huge in country. And I joke with her. I'm like, yeah, you're a redneck. She's far from it. It's just, play on it. But we're here in Kentucky. I'm like, she does. We do actually have shoes, and most people do have a full mouth of teeth, and we're not all married to our cousins. But that's West Virginia. Don't get it twisted. That's those people over there. That's Tennessee. That's not Kentucky. We're civilized here in Louisville. But I'll laugh at myself, man. If I can't laugh at me, who the hell else is going to? So I have my own inner dialogue, and I'll laugh at my own jokes. If you guys don't get it, whatever. But it is what it is, man. But yeah, I mean, I listen to rap music. So I grew up listening to NWA, listening to Too Short, listening to LL Cool J. I listened to Fresh Prince. I mean, it was cool. I was in like 7th grade, 8th grade when Parents Just Don't Understand came out. But I also listen, behind closed doors. I'm listening when I get to high school to Public Enemy, because I'm surrounded by guys who came from the projects. And in high school, me and my brother were the only, and there was one other guy, we're the only Latinos in school back in 1989, 1990, 91, 92 in Louisville, Kentucky. In my community in Fairdale, the running joke was, and even, Bullitt County, which is just south of us, if you're a person of color, you better be off the streets when the sun goes down. That's what kind of, where I'm at in the south end of Louisville and Bullitt County, what it was like when I was growing up. And I was a darker shade of brown. I spend time out in the sun, and I get very dark. My grandfather is dark as dark can be. My father's from Panama. I go back to Panama, and I'm like, holy cow, my grandpa's black. Black. Okay, so I'm come from a different background, a different culture. But that's what I grew up with in South Louisville in the late 80s. So my point being was that when I was in high school, I had friends, but I also talked to everyone. Like, I could go to lunch and I would sit at a table and it'd be all my offensive linemen. Next day, I'm sitting there with all the running backs and stuff, and I'm taking these guys home. They're coming to my house on game days, on freshman, JV, varsity. I would bring home 6 to 10 kids with me from the West End, from the projects, who are my family's feeding them because they're going to be home. They're not going home. When you got out of school, you would go home for 5 or 6 hours, or let's say 3 hours, and then you got to be back at 5 o'clock in the locker room for a 7:30 game. We didn't have, a food table back then. We didn't have sponsors who were going to give the players Subway or order pizzas. Or even when I began coaching 5 and 10 years later, in the mid-90s, where we made spaghetti dinners for them, and we had boosters who actually did that. When I was in high school, the community of Fairdale, we embraced our players. If it was basketball, football, whatever. And we would take those kids who were less fortunate. And I say less fortunate, I was poor as poor can be. My dad was a jockey, during the 60s, 70s. He was one of the top jockeys in the country. But by the time we got to the 80s, we lived a rough life. I never knew I was poor. I wasn't poor. I mean, I never wanted for anything. But I also knew I didn't, I wasn't getting Jordans. I had like 2 pair of jeans that I wore to school all the time, and you mix it up, you wear shorts and jogging pants and whatever gear that school, that I had for swag. That's reality. I didn't know I was poor. Shit, I was fly. My personality took over. I didn't have to have $200 tennis shoes and Air Jordans and all that stuff. I made do with what I was, who I was. So I sat there and I graduated. I was best personality in school. I was leader on defense. Defensive back. 5'9", 170-pound Latino. But I lived in Chicago. I lived in Cleveland. I lived in Miami. I knew how to relate, man. I didn't have no enemies. You might not always be my friend, but I talk friendly to everybody. But I'm also not going to kiss anyone's butt and talk to people who don't want to talk to me. But I was known. Always been that way. You know, so my point is I'm multifaceted. I've got a background. I listen to all types of music. But my preference has always been rap music, not even hip hop, rap music. Yeah, back in the day I listened to Bobby Brown and New Edition and stuff like that, but that's before, you know, I got turned on to going to University of Evansville and listening to Schoolie D. You know, listening to Public Enemy, listening to Eazy-E and NWA and Too Short. Holy cow, man. Just think about it. A kid from the suburbs in 1988 listening to Too Short and what that dude was putting out back then. Holy cow. Eye-opening. And I was turned on to the music and turned on to the culture. I mean, I love college basketball and what Michigan did with the Fab Five, with baggy shorts. They changed the culture. You can sit there and say what you want. From my era, 50-year-old, you can speak on this. Those guys changed the culture and the way things are perceived today. And there's a lot of people riding their coattails and don't give them the recognition. And that's just, you know, it is what it is. So that's just a little bit of background on me personally. Watching this video, I mean, guys, you need a big play in Dynasty. Go run that flea flicker. How many times are we going to watch it? That squaring was wide open. From that left hash to the middle of the field was wide open. And we're watching Louisville get bombed on. What are you doing, man? Thaddeus, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, buddy. Like you said, I don't know any other way but to keep it real. I have no filter. That's, you know, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm going to speak my mind. You can agree or disagree. It's up to you totally. I'm going to share my opinion. My opinion is not always right. At least it is in my mind. But, you know, I'm of strong opinion. I'm not for everybody. And that's fine. You know, I've got people that are jump on here and watch me for 10 seconds and turn it off. Okay. You know, you look at that thumbnail and you see, oh, college football, this dude's talking about rosters. And next thing you know, you look up there and there's a fossil talking. You know, what's this 50-year-old know about college football? I've been playing it for 30 years. I coached high school football for 20 years. I played the game. That's what I know. What are you doing? You're sitting on your couch all day. You ain't seen outside in 3 weeks. You know, so that's just where I'm at. I'm in a different part of life than a lot of other people, and I enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, T-Bone, you're 1,000% right. If you look at the search on the internet, someone posted on Twitter, and you can't believe everything you see on Twitter. Don't get it twisted. I think college football 25 is more searched than looking at boobs, and I don't think I agree with that. But, yeah, I mean, there's so many people that are coming out of the woodwork, man, who love college football. They're college football fans. They're from the South. They live and breathe college football. When they're buried in the ground, they're wearing their school's colors. There's 2 seasons for a lot of them. Aaron Perez, thank you much, buddy. There's 2 seasons in the South. And I said it last night, and I'll say it again. I mean, I truly believe it. There's in season when games are played, and there's recruiting season. That's all they care about. They care about football. Basketball, no one cares about basketball in the South. I mean, it's great to hear recently there was only one team that focused on basketball in the SEC for years, and it was Kentucky because they sucked at football. I'm not lying. They know it. They go 3-9. Beat Ohio. Beat Toledo. Beat a bum. Now, they've turned around. They beat Louisville the last 5 years. So, I'll give them my flowers. I will say they have owned us recently. But when I grew up, Kentucky was terrible. They were the only team in the SEC cared about basketball. Now you've got, there's a concerted effort that teams in the SEC have went out and paid for coaches like Bruce Pearl, Nate Oates. They're putting money into the basketball program. But why are they doing it? Oh, it's football. They're making $100 million a year with their media rights deals. So now they can throw a bone to the basketball program and pay a coach $12 million a year to coach basketball. That's why John Calipari, the other team that kind of always focused on, but of course, back in the day, they weren't in the SEC, was Arkansas. They've got a history. They have a proud tradition at Arkansas. This goes back to when, Nolan Richardson was there. They were winning championships in '94 with, Todd Day and Lee Mayberry. And they had Alec Dillard, who that dude would shoot the ball from the pig's tail on the logo. I grew up watching them. I watched John Calipari in basketball when he was at UMass with, at my time, my heroes. They had Marcus Camby, but Marcus Camby wasn't someone I was watching at UMass back in the day. It was the Latino backcourt of Edgar Padilla and Carmelo Travieso, two Puerto Ricans. We didn't have, as far as Panama's concerned in NBA, we had Rolando Blackman play for the Dallas Mavericks. That's the one great hope that we had for Panama, for my culture. So for me to see a guy that had a similar last name in Padilla, Carmelo Travieso, watching those guys play for John Calipari, I enjoyed it. And I watched, look, I'm a Louisville fan. I respected Rick Pitino when he was at UK because they gave the state of Kentucky something we didn't have, which was pressing defenses. Like they lined up full court press, and that dude, actually made watching college basketball entertaining. We had Denny Crum back in the day, but UK U of L hate each other, and I respected what he was doing. He built that program from the ashes. They tore it down after they sat there and paid players with that Emory deal back in the day with Dwayne Casey, who got banned from coaching college basketball and ended up going to NBA and having a great career. That's what I grew up with. So I respected that, but there was no SEC basketball. Yeah, you had back in the day, maybe, and Doug will attest to this, LSU had Shaq and they had Chris Jackson and they had, the other big boy, Stanley Roberts. They still couldn't win. Heck, Kentucky came back one time, was down 31 and came back and beat them. Louisville beat, Dale Brown and LSU in the Final Four. But more recently, it's a football league. That's what they care about. More recently, they've added some basketball, and, Alabama's had a great run in Auburn, Tennessee. Aaron, I'm going to make a list. I wish I knew the tiers, who's 1-star, who's 2-star, who's 3-star. As far as who I'm going to start with, I think it's going to be cool if I start my very first dynasty with the University of Louisville, just because I'm a Louisville fan. So I'll get more familiar with the gameplay and not actually have a terrible team at my disposal. But just because I start with Louisville doesn't mean I'm also simultaneously, I can't play another dynasty with Tulane or Texas San Antonio or Appalachian State. Those are three teams that are, on my next tier. And I still, even in the Sun Belt, and let me look real quick. What do I want to use? I'm going to pull out my Athlon. Bear with me, guys. Did I hit the wrong button? I'll pull up. Hey, guys, there's the schedule again. Check it out. We're going to have it 1 o'clock, so 15 minutes away. Frankie Walker and LeBron James. I'm not going to live stream. I'm going to stop here in about 10 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up. But that was the schedule again. But, yeah, looking at this, in the ACC, obviously I'm going to use Louisville. If I'm someone, though, who's not a Louisville fan, and you want to build a team from the ACC, SMU, all day, every day. They're throwing a ton of money at that program. if you don't have someone, you want to use someone in the ACC and build it up with that Texas pipeline, I'm using SMU. That's no cap. I love them. I've wore their shirt in some videos already. I'm using SMU if it wasn't Louisville. As far as the American Conference, Memphis is going to be the favorite with Texas San Antonio. I'm probably going to use Tulane for a dynasty there. If you want to use someone from the Service Academy, you also have Army and Navy. Using them for the option would be very intriguing. As we move over to the Big 10, or no, let's go Big 12 first. Big name school, top 25 team, I'm using Arizona. I'm going to use Arizona when I get to that point. They've got T-Mac at receiver, T-Mac McMillan. They have Bobo Davis at corner, and then you've got a linebacker who's third-team All-American, so they have some pieces. I'm intrigued by using Colorado, but I think so many people are going to use Colorado. It doesn't make sense to row with them. In the Big Ten, of course, I'm the Ohio State fan, but I'm not going to use them in any early dynasties. I might use a Nebraska as an actual rebuild just because of Dylan Raiola. I think they're very intriguing. The fact that I go into a dynasty and I've got a true freshman quarterback and I don't have to worry about recruiting the quarterback position for 3 years, I really want to use Nebraska. I like that traditional team. You see, only threw for 188 yards and 4 touchdowns. Conference USA. But if you want a team from outside the top 25 who's going to come in and curb stomp everybody, it's going to be Liberty. But I also might use a Western Kentucky there just because the Hilltop is just south of us. So maybe I can turn around Western. There's some, Kennesaw State's also in Conference USA. You could use them. They're, a one-star program just kicking off. But, Liberty's going to have a top 100 quarterback, top 100 running back, and they've got a cake schedule. I mean, they play Appalachian State this year in year one. In the Mountain West, I'm playing personally. I'm going to use San Jose State. I've got San Jose State swag from back in 2009. I use them in a dynasty where we use lower teams. I'm going to use San Jose State. I've got California as a recruiting base. I'm going to use the Spartans. In the SEC, as far as building a team, I'm going to use South Carolina. They're a team that's not top 25. They're top 40. But they are littered with some great talent. They've got a 6'5", 240-pound receiver in Nick Harbor. They also have a transfer running back from Arkansas who ran for 1,400 yards 2 years ago. He didn't have as much success last year. He was banged up, some personal issues, so he didn't play. But I'm going to use South Carolina in the SEC. Now, they've got a gauntlet. They have 6 teams in the top 25 they got to play this year. I mean, so you play 5 teams in the SEC, and they also got to play Clemson, who's a rival. So I'm using South Carolina from the SEC. If you want to, have that love, there it goes. I mean, it looks like he just shut off his video, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Put my ugly mug back on here in full-blown mode. Yeah, so Bordeaux's video's over. He's shutting down because they're going to be showcasing LeBron James in 12 minutes. And the Sun Belt, hey, buddy, you want to talk about parity? I get excited. You can hear it in my voice. I get excited. I mean, I don't know who to use in the Sun Belt. I truly do not know who to use. You've got Appalachian State, which I love them. They beat Michigan. I'm the Ohio State fan. It's never going to leave my mind that Appalachian State was 1AA. They beat Michigan in the Big House. They were, at that time, something that never happened was that Appalachian State was ranked in the top 25 because they beat Michigan, who was a top 25 team. The media ranked Appalachian State in the top 25. They gave them their flowers. They weren't even 1A football. So I've got an affinity for them. Now, James Madison, a lot of people talking about them. I would never use James Madison, and here's why. We had a player who transferred from Louisville, went to James Madison and played, was a quarterback. But James Madison, their head coach, Signotti, left and went to Indiana. So he's at IU. And he brought with him 13 transfers. So the transfer portal worked out for IU. He brought a lot of players from the Sun Belt. I would not use James Madison. Coastal Carolina is intriguing because they've got some nice swag. They've got great uniforms, and they got the teal field. I would look at using them. If you want to, you're interested in having a lot of different color choices and, you want to build a program, look at Coastal Carolina. They're newer. They weren't in the previous versions of the game. Texas State, dude. Texas State. They got the quarterback from James Madison. That's who it was. I was back and forth last night, and I was losing the battle because I couldn't figure out. My brain wasn't functioning at 1 o'clock in the morning. Texas State also has James Madison's quarterback from last year. They've got two really talented receivers. Like Texas State has players that are all first-team Sun Belt. Their weakness might be running back, but they've got a great quarterback and they got two receivers. And they got a defensive end who had like 14 sacks. I might use them. They've got a recruiting hotbed. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget. You've got to have a pipeline. You've got to have a state to pull players from. Otherwise, you're going to be spinning your wheels and losing in all these battles. So Sunbelt, probably, to be honest, I'm using Texas State. I'll make that right now. Mark it down. Write it down. Hold me accountable. And the Sunbelt, I'm going to use Texas State. And that's it. I mean, I just went through the laundry list. I'm not going to use anyone from the Pac-2, Tupac's conference, the Pac-2. I'm not using Oregon State. I'm not using Washington State. I'm not going to go play in a watered-down Mountain West with two guys that are rejects and don't even have their own conference. If I'm going to use someone from Mountain West, I'm taking Boise State. And I might have skimmed. Did I skim past I said San Jose, didn't I? Yeah, I did. But if you're taking someone who wants to win the title, Boise State, they just got to transfer from USC, who's going to be the starting quarterback as a redshirt freshman at Boise. And then you got Ashton Gianti at running back. Boise State, if you want to win a league with a non-top 25 team and go to the playoffs, use them. So anyway, I'm done. Dude, I've been on this mic for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I can't believe that I had 485 views and guys are coming in and checking this out. Thank you guys for at least, watching. Make sure that you check out Not the Expert and you go to Bordeaux's page. Check those guys out. They put out great content. It's wonderful, everything that all these content creators are doing. I don't have any, ill will toward everyone. They let them put out all these videos and it brings everyone else up, So check out all these guys. They do a great job. Go watch Dubby, man. If you're older, if you're 35 years old and older and you don't know, go watch Dub.Dubby. Check out that dude. He puts out wonderful content. He knows video games. He's a huge Eagles fan, but also lives up in Cleveland, so he does some stuff with Cleveland Browns. And he gives people crap. I mean, when he loses it, he loses it. I mean, it's a show. Now, don't go watch him live stream 2K. He's got a dude he puts on there, man. I'm not going to say I'm fat shaming. There's a guy, though, lays in bed, plays video games, plays 2K, and he is garbage. And Dubby he grills this guy. I mean, unmercifully, he'd be like I would. And the dude, I mean, they're good, but man, Dubby got on playing 2K and he brought my son back into that mix, and he's, quit playing Madden and started playing 2K for a while. And actually now a pro 2K player, whatever. But go check out Dub.Dubby. Go Dub.Dubby. Go check out Popular Stranger. Go watch Henry. Henry's not the most personable person, but Henry is like the reigning Madden champ. Like, go watch these guys. Go check out all these guys who put out that wonderful content. If you guys support them, it's just helping the whole NCAA football roster community, college football, or not roster community, the college football 25 community. Aaron, yes. I'm going to live stream at 8 o'clock tonight. I'll probably get on at 7:50 for introduction. I'm going to live stream the Mike Vick, Tim Tebow stream tonight at 8 o'clock. So I'll be on probably for the watch party, maybe about 7:45 watch party. Like it's a party. I mean, I'm 50 years old. These are parties I get to go to on a Saturday nights watching college football. Love the life I live. So I'll be focused in on that. But I'm going to be watching the other content throughout the day. So you guys go live your life. Go grab lunch. We've got at 1 o'clock, we've got LeBron James. They're putting out content. So I'll give you guys 5 minutes to jump on that. Go get something to eat. Go grab something to drink. Take a break from watching my ugly mug. Some of you guys were on here last night watching me until 1 o'clock in the morning for 2 hours, ranting and raving, acting like a crazy person all over the place, talking about everything, life in general. But at the end of the day, we're here all because of this game that we love, this game that we support, this game that we're so happy to have again. EA Sports College Football 25. I don't get paid one red dime from EA. This is not a paid advertisement. This is just my love for this game. Understand that. Okay. I don't get a dime. I'm not in the EA Creator Network. I don't have any sponsors. I don't have any advertisers. I do this for the love of this community. Okay. Realize that. Put respect on my name, though. I've been doing this for a long time. Put respect on my name. I was recognized yesterday by Operation Sports as a legend in this field. I'm a true OG in this. Okay. I know what I'm talking about. You guys enjoy it. Keep coming back for more content. Other than that, you guys have a great day. I'll be back tonight, 7:45. Mark it down. Put it on your calendar. Put a notification. 7:45. Love you guys. Keep coming back. At FairdaleKings on Twitter. At FairdaleKings for YouTube. Twitch, I don't know nothing about no daggone Twitch, man. I'm going to try to figure out, maybe I can live stream, do both simultaneously. I think I'm going to get kicked off Twitch because I'll be talking about YouTube. So, you know, my legacy on Twitch is probably going to be short-lived. It's FairdaleKingsTV. I've got to do some studying, man. I'm new to all this, man. Live streaming, I just upload videos. So I'm out of here, man. The last time saying it, go check out all the content today. LeBron James, 1 o'clock, live streaming this game. Y'all have a great day. Fairdale Kings, and I'm out.